the same thing that we kind of covered last time, but we're going to go into a little bit more detail, and we're also going to be able to give a little bit more clarity to it this time around. So the whole flow, and this is actually a flow that is in your DSC training. If you've actually seen every video there is a secret hidden video somewhere in the Domination back office where we actually go through the flow of what we try to accomplish with DSD. Okay, and the whole idea was that you follow a very simple waterfall approach where you begin with free or nearly free. Okay, in the beginning, your idea is that we're going to drop ship. We're going to have time. We're not going to have much money. Okay, so we begin with drop shipping, and we use that to generate money. Okay, and we're not as concerned about the amount of time it takes. Then we move on and we begin to see how businesses work, and you begin to see that you start getting all this cash back and all this fun stuff simply because these vendors are so happy for you to sell their stuff. Okay, so they actually end up giving you even more money. You do that in Elite. You also expand your horizons and you sell in many different sources and so on from many different sources. So it's raining money basically at that point. Then from the cashback, you move on to the next stage, which is branding your own products and selling it on even bigger marketplaces. Look at the biggest marketplaces there are. And that's where we get to Genesis. And we're basically building a long-term thing here, something that can, in some cases, be life-changing. And it is for many people. In fact, a very significant number of our members have crossed the $10,000 a month threshold in terms of sales by the time they get to the stage. Okay, so we have product sourcing and basically branding yourself at this point, okay? It's something you're doing that is beyond just a single person thing, okay? You've gone beyond that. So this was the basic flow that we were aiming for, and we were very successful doing this. It worked out really well. And then comes the next part, which is, okay, so far we have really focused on money. We are okay with exchanging time for money because that's where a lot of us begin, okay? That's how resources play out. That we are all born with time, but none of us are born with money, and a few of us inherit some, but you still have to work for it. So our next plan was that we're going to go into a phase where we will now focus on using that money to multiply itself, which in other terms you've heard called investments. And we're going to focus on actually doing it in a very simple way. We're going to focus on making sure you actually get to have more time as well. Okay. So the natural idea was, okay, let's go towards trading. Okay. But trading in true sense of the word doesn't actually afford you the luxury of having more time. In fact, when I traded aggressively I know very well from experience that you end up spending a lot of time analyzing charts, keeping up with the news, and so on and so forth. So there's a particular instrument of trading, which is called binary options, which is different from typical trading. You're actually not entering the market trades. You're actually not buying and selling real stuff. You are simply taking trades on, is the market going to go up or is the market going to go down? Here's a very simple analogy. You know, when there's a presidential election, there's these sites where people bet who is going to win the election. They don't actually go and give that money to the campaigns, right? Let's say that there's X and Y, there are two guys competing, and these people go and bet against other people who are also betting who's going to win. It's basically something like that. And I know that kind of seems demeaning and almost like we should, talk about our system in a more prestigious way, but there really isn't anything prestigious about it. What we were aiming for was not necessarily prestige, but a simple, easy method that is quick and can help generate dollars for the average person without requiring market analysis, without requiring a lot of trading experience, and the biggest part being without requiring significant investment amounts. Because typically when you go into investments where you're looking at potential good income, you're looking at investments that are into tens of thousands of dollars at least. Okay, again, that's been our experience. So we broke that down in the very same flow. You begin with a very simple, easy method, which will not necessarily be the life-changing part. Some of you will focus on just this part and do really well with it, just like some people focus on just the drop shipping and do really well with it. But in general, you're going to start with binary options. Okay, binaries. I'm just going to put 1, 1, 1, 0 because everybody understands that's binary. And then we're going to go from there to commodity trading, real life commodity trading, typically in futures. And then from there, we are going to finish up in what are true overseas investments. We call them wealth protection strategies. Some of you have heard about it. And this is when you are not actually actively investing money in risky things. You're not buying stocks. You're not buying future contracts. You're not even trading on future contracts like binary options do. You are simply putting aside money as you go, which will keep growing itself, which will keep you safe against inflation, and you leave that basically for your family. That's something that you can set up forever, and you can start out really small, and you can go big. And one of our, I'll call it the WP strats, that's the street name for wealth protection strategies, although people who aren't necessarily on the streets know about it. And that's basically the idea behind the whole thing. Now, one of the other challenges we had was making sure that we were able to create the system in a way that everybody could take part in it without requiring massive investments, without requiring massive amounts of knowledge. And the obvious solution to that was focusing on what we call signals, okay? Signals for taking binary trades. Now, I can waste a lot of your time right now talking about all the intricacies of binary options and how they work. But in general, okay, the simple explanation is this. Let's say that Kevin and I are sitting and we are watching a chart which is showing us the price of USD because I'm in the US versus JPY, which is Japanese yen because he's in Japan. And him and I bet, and I'm like, look, I think that the USD is going to be stronger 5 minutes from now. 5 minutes from now, the USD is going to be worth more than it is right now. And he goes, no, it's not. So basically, I'm saying that this ratio will go up. He's saying this ratio will go down, okay? That's all it is. That is actually the essence of binary options. And some people try to put the spin on it and make it seem like it is so integrated and deep and complex and wonderful and glorious, but it isn't. It's actually really, really that simple. Now, little does Kevin know that I spend a lot of my time at the airports, and I know that there is this new thing that is happening in the airline industry, which is going to cause the United States to become much stronger. They're going to release this new airplane or whatever. And that's why I know that in the next 10 minutes, this news is going to come out and it's going to make USD stronger, okay? So I take the trade. Him and I both take the trade against each other. I take the trade going up. He takes the trade going down. I win, he loses, and he gives me 70%, okay? So let's say we both put $100 in here. I get $70 in profit, okay? That's the core essence of it. Now, what we do when we say signals is that our platform analyzes all the technical stuff that's going on in the market, all the news things that are going on in the market, or our actual physical traders and analysts look at the stuff, and they will issue you a trade. They will basically come out and say, okay, we believe that this is what's going to happen, and you're going to go and take a trade. Okay, and this is actually what it looks like. It's extremely straightforward and simple. This is literally the signals generated by our platform today. Okay, you can see the date here, you can see the time here in GMT, and you can actually see the results here. Okay, so we had 14 trades today, out of which we won 10 and lost 4. That's a very strong showing. That's over a 70% win rate. I'm not saying that every day is like that. You have days that are way bad. You have some days that are very good. But in general, as long as you can maintain a winning rate of greater than 60%, you can be very profitable. Okay, this is a mathematical fact. Okay, so this is not guarantee of income or something like that. It's like saying that if Kevin and I challenge each other in rock, paper, scissors, and he's really good at rock, paper, scissors, and he knows he's going to win 70% of the time, and he's going to get 80% of the payout, then he has a winning strategy. Okay, that's basically what this is. So the idea behind our system is very straightforward. If you have 75% plus payout, okay, that means for every $100 trade, you are going to get at least $75, and you have a greater than 60% win rate. Okay, I know 60% even seems weak, but remember, we're trying to predict, in general, a very unpredictable thing. And we're trying to do it over a very short term. We're trying to do it over 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. And in some cases, we're doing it until the end of the day, until the end of the week, sometime in the next month. In fact, we took some trades today that are for the next month, actually significantly into some of them are into March. So this is what we are aiming for. If we can accomplish this, then over time, we basically win. Now, our track record is that our signaling platform, if you analyze our last 1,400 some trades, then we have an upwards of 70% win rate across the board. Now, again, I want to clarify, that doesn't mean that we have an upward of 70% win rate every single day. That doesn't mean we'll continue to have upward of 70% win rate, but that is in general what we see. On top of it, there's another factor, which is called market news. And I gave you guys an example of that. I knew that something was going to happen or something was happening, which would cause the USD to be stronger. And that is why I took the trade when I was talking with Kevin about it. And those tend to have even a very strong success rate. When you have true good market analysis, you have a stronger success rate with those. Okay. So these market news, many times in a single session, we will have an 80% plus success rate. Okay. Again, that doesn't happen every single time, but in general, that's how it works. So we have come up with a very simple idea. If you are able to take a small amount of money, let's say $1,000, which is a small amount of money when you compare that to the typical amount of money you need for investments, you can get into the market with binary options, the simplest things to get into. And if you have this going for you, then over time, you can build up some money there. Okay, and by over time, I mean over the course of a month, over the course of 2 months, you can build up some money over there. I do not believe that binary options will necessarily turn anybody into multimillionaires, although that has happened. I don't want to give you guys that idea. Okay, there are people who have started out with $2,000, $3,000 and end up making $2 or $3 million. But I don't want to give you guys the impression that that happens all the time. Just like there are people who do make $1 million a month on Amazon, there are people who make $1 million a month on eBay, but by and large, people who are successful even don't have those kind of results. It's the same thing over here. Okay, so I'm being very realistic about it, because if I'm not realistic about it, Jason lives a mile away and he's going to show up with his crossbow at my house. So being super realistic, giving you guys very restrained expectations. Okay, now the fun part here is that, as you can see, this side does mirror this side. Okay, and I just kind of messed this whole thing up. I'll make it neater. Okay, so imagine that this little orange line is a mirror. Okay, we have come up with a very simple, similar idea that you start out small, you go big, and it's something that you can do with the absence of one very critical thing that online marketers think they need, which is the ability to sell other people. You notice at none of these stages we ever talked about, oh, and this is when you go out there and tell your Aunt Jemima that she has made some money by selling her maple syrup, and therefore she must join your MLM and buy your healthcare products. No, we never said that, because that doesn't need to be done at any of these points. Okay, you can continue to make money with all of these strategies without ever involving anybody else. Okay, nobody will ever even know. You can do this in secret, and that's totally fine. Now, there is one component though. Okay, whenever you have a system like this that is going to be so dramatically popular, which we know it will be, it makes sense to have something called an affiliate program. So in DS Domination, we have an affiliate program. Okay, let's go back to black. Okay, so the next stage that we added in DS Domination that we talked about is DSD affiliate side. Okay, and what the affiliate side lets you do is it allows you to refer other people who you know will also benefit from this system, and allows them to also generate an income. Now, some people are in general very good at being affiliates and making sales. So this has obviously been wonderful for them. What's been very exciting about DS Domination is that we've seen an organic growth in this. There are people who do so well with this side of things that they go out and become affiliates and refer people, even though they have never been active in MLMs before. Okay, so it's a very, very wonderful to observe phenomena. It's a very natural, organic move into, I'm going to talk about this with my friends because it's actually doing really well for me. Okay, so that's basically what the affiliate side is. Now we want to kind of top what we did on the affiliate side in DS Domination with what we can do on options domination. And there is one factor here, which is in DSD, we pay out a very high commission rate. We pay out as %. Okay, now that keep in mind that leaves about 25% for all four of us combined. And we have, programming costs, management costs, help desk costs, staffing costs, payment processing, and so on and so forth. Now, on this side of things, though, with options domination, Jason Rose is actually the owner of this legal entity. And he basically gave us a very wonderful charge. He basically said, I don't care about making significant profits myself off of the top. I just want to make sure that we have a system that is actually successful, that replicates this whole idea. And there is only apparently that I'm known internally within our group of 4 for random mathematical things that come to my brain. And then we basically run them by Roger, who is very good at math himself, and we come up with different things there. Okay, and Kevin basically puts those things into action. So what we did is we came up with a very unique concept around all of this thing, around options, which is called the tri-matrix affiliate system. Okay, now the unique thing about this is that the tri-matrix affiliate system, as opposed to the DS domination affiliate system, pays out significantly more. Okay, actually, I hesitate to put a number on it, but it can pay close to 90% in some cases, where basically, after all the costs are involved, the company itself doesn't make a whole lot of money, which is fine because the company's owner, Jason Rhodes, has connections with the third world. He has some Indian guy works for free for him, doesn't have to pay him anything to develop things. If some of you understand the hidden meanings there, you can hear my cry for help and true pay, equal opportunity, and so on. But anyways, moving on. The point is
this is
that
silence in. Anyway, move on.
Moving on.
So the point here is that the tri-matrix system has one component to it, which DSD affiliate side did not, which is that you can actually generate a very significant income, very good income with the tri-matrix system without referring anybody as well. Okay. Now, if you do refer people, though, there's a very wonderful thing that happens. Not only do you make a lot more money, but when you make money, you have an intrinsic knowledge. You actually understand by looking at your own paycheck that everybody that you're referring to the system is also making money. Okay, so there's this very beautiful thing that is tied in here. So if we took DS domination and we suddenly became really focused on the affiliate side and we only pushed the affiliate side, we would have the same level of success rate that other MLMs do, which is about 99% failure. Okay, but in the tri-matrix system, if we focus really on the affiliate side of things, we would still not have that 99% failure rate because of the way the system is set up. Okay, and the way this works is that any customer, not an affiliate, a person who is simply a member of options domination, where they are receiving signals from us, stuff like this, that they look at and they go take a trade. And just so you guys can see, you see right here, this is a 29-minute trade. This is a 36-minute trade. This is a 38-minute trade, and so on and so forth, a 14-minute trade. So it's 24 minutes, sorry. It's a very quick system, okay? You get to see results very quickly in here as well. Just like in DST, we have people who make money in the same day. We have people here that will make money on the same day. So you're actually paying for that. That's what you're joined here for. But as a customer, you have this amazing bonus money that just shows up magically. It's not magic, it's math. In this tri-matrix system, okay? So I'm gonna try and explain how the tri-matrix system works because I know people had questions about it. Typically, I always say that people who complicate things are trying to hide something from you, okay? Unfortunately, this is one of the very rare things that is a little bit complicated when you try and understand it. But if you understand it, you will understand the beauty behind it. This is one of the very rare things that is actually a little complicated, but it's complicated because we try to build something that was extremely unique and very good for you, not something where we're trying to hide something bad from you, okay? So I'm gonna try and explain this, and I think it'll make a lot of sense once you understand it. So just as a general idea, so we understand our audience a bit better, how many of you have ever been part of a company or of that operated on a forced matrix system? Okay, just anybody who's familiar with forced matrix. All right, a lot of you. That's awesome, because that would mean that a lot of you will understand this, okay? So the way a forced matrix system works is that if this is X, okay, you know what, we will say this is Hitesh, and Hitesh goes out and refers Roger, Kevin, and Jason. And then Hitesh goes and refers, let's say, give me another name. I'm blanking on name. Okay, I'll pick an name, Keith. Then I go and refer Keith. Okay, the Keith doesn't go here. Keith goes in here, okay? And this is what you would call a matrix with a width of 3. Okay, basically you can only have 3 people on your first level, which would necessarily mean that you would have only 9 people on your second level, and then only 27 on your third level, only 81 on your fourth level, and 243 on the next level, and 729 on the next level. Okay, and the next one is, I think, 2187. So these are the only numbers that are possible in the system. Okay, and the way a force matrix works is that you get paid on everybody who is in your matrix, regardless of if you refer them or not. So when I refer Keith and Keith goes here, suddenly Roger also gets to make some money, even though Roger didn't refer Keith at all. Okay, so there is a level of ingenuity here. There is something good here in that a non-recruiter can benefit a little bit from a recruiter. But very quickly, you will begin to see a problem over here. There are 9 spots over here. Okay, and then keep in mind there are 27 spots over here, and then there are 81 spots over here, and then 243, and then 729. Do you see a pattern? The pattern is that as you go further down, closer to the bottom, there are more number of people there. Okay, so the people at the very bottom far outweigh the people in the top. I mean, look at this. The first 3 levels are basically 13 people, and the last 3 levels are over 2,000, right? So what happens is, in a force matrix structure, even though the intention is there to help them, only the few people at the top end up making any money. The other problem is that you need thousands upon thousands of people to actually fill a matrix, right? Just to depth matrix, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2187 would be your last matrix level. Just to have these levels filled, you're going to need over 3,000 people, over around 3,200 people. So any company that begins with this kind of a system also struggles, because, I mean, you need 3,000 people before the top guy in the company has a full matrix. Okay, so here's the solution to that. The solution to that was actually a very simple idea, but it was difficult to execute. I think that's why other companies don't execute this. But what you do is, and this is how options work, okay, so I'm giving you the exact numbers now. So let's say somebody joins options domination at the cheapest level, which is $49.95 a month. Okay, that's the cheapest level in options domination. Okay, when somebody joins at that level, let's say Roger is at that level, Kevin is at that level, Jason is at that level. I would receive $1 per person per month who is in my matrix. Okay, so in this case, I would be getting $4. Similarly, Roger is going to get $1 because he has one active person in his matrix, which is Keith. Okay, now if this matrix was full, then I would earn about $3,200 from this matrix if all the people in this matrix were just at the lowest level of options domination. Okay, now that would leave obviously these thousands of people down here with almost no money to speak of. All of the people on this level would have $3 each at the end of the month. All of these people would have 0. Okay, so the way we fix it is that at the same time as M1, as the first matrix exists, we have something we call M2. In this M2, we begin with the last person here. Number 2,187 on this level ends up being the first guy on this level. Okay, and Hitesh here, who thought he had placed himself so wonderfully and is the king of the world at this moment, ends up as the last person in this matrix. Okay, now keep in mind, I'm already making $3,200 here. Okay, so this, me being at the end in the second matrix at the same time, doesn't hurt me. It's not taking this money away from me. I'm already making this money. Okay, in M2, there'll be people at the bottom over here who will end up making a lot of money. Okay, one of them is going to make $3,200 as well, and then others are going to make significant incomes as well. You know, like somebody at this level is going to make a little over $1,000. So Roger, Kevin, and Jason over here are making over $1,000. The same way, there are going to be 3 people making over $1,000 here. And there'll be 27 people then making somewhere in the hundreds of range, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, obviously, the number of people at the bottom here was much higher than the number of people at top. So flipping this matrix 1 isn't actually sufficient. So then we have something called M3, which also exists at the same time, where the exact same mechanism takes place. But the people who so far have the least income, who have $0 from M1 and M2, they begin this matrix from top. Okay, so X, Y, and Z, who were so far at $0, they begin this matrix. So now suddenly we have another person making $3,200 minimum. Then we have other people over here and so on. Okay. So you begin to see what's happening here. There's a lot of people in here. Let's say these three guys never recruited anybody at all. These three are making over $1,000 here. And then there are three other people over here making over $1,000, three other people over here making over $1,000. As you start compiling all of these numbers, you very quickly realize that forget 99% failure rate, you won't even see a 90% failure rate just from this, because already a significant portion of the membership is going to be making money just from the matrices themselves. Okay, now if you were doing some math alongside with me, then this means if you're paying $1 per person who is paying $49.95, this means that we are only paying $7 in this matrix on one person. We are only paying $7 over here and $7 here. So when one person pays in almost 50, we are paying out $21 of that back to other customers, okay, in form of the matrix, in form of these three matrices together. Is that part somewhat clear? Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Hey, can I intervene real quick?
Brilliant. We're getting
no. Everybody said they understood, so I'm not letting anybody in.
I know, but I'm the dumbest one here. Can I try and formulate some words, and we'll go over the alphabet and stuff real quick?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, a couple things here. As I'm looking at this, you have to realize if you're an affiliate, some of the powers are maybe some of it's elusive. And I know Hitesh was probably about to mention this. If it's confusing, it'll just take a couple times for you guys to see. It's a difficult concept because it's so amazing. All right. So a couple things. How would you like to be at the absolute top of Matrix 1, right? So what does that result in? It results in everybody pouring in, trying to get in. How would you like to be at the bottom of Matrix 1 when it flips? So as the time counts down to when the money's going to run for whoever's at the bottom of the first matrix, people will be pouring in. So if you're an affiliate, it's just a nonstop race to get involved with this. Now, I want to tell you guys a story because Hitesh won't tell you this. If you've ever seen the movie, this kind of reminds me of the movie Good Will Hunting. And there's a scene there where Will's sitting there, and this is still when he's buddy with the professor that bailed him out of jail and stuff like that. And then there's this old crotchety guy that's also a math whiz, and he has an assistant, and he's doing his math. And at one point, I don't know the exact scene, but the other professor gets on there, and he's like, "But I can do the indices. It's not this." And then Will grabs a piece of paper, and he's like, "Here, take this home with you, and you'll get it." So I sat on countless calls, okay, including myself, where Hitesh talked about this tri-matrix crazy thing. And I said, "Oh, it won't work because I don't have enough money." Blah, 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 blah. And we mashed back and forth in some math until I broke. I just kind of a light bulb was like, whoa. And then he took it, and I remember I enjoyed being on several of these calls where he went to comp plan, air quote, experts. And he would present the introduction, like, "Oh, but," and Hitesh was like, "Here, take it home with you. You'll get it. Just figure it out." And then the amazement would come back. And this is just so brilliant. It's never been done. It's not being done anywhere. It's innovative, and it's Hitesh's drive, coupled with Jason's drive, to ensure that everybody makes money. Okay. Now I care less when anybody makes money. Okay, I like making money myself. I want all of your money. No, I'm just kidding. But he won't say it, so brilliant job on that. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, I don't know where that story came from. I don't even remember any of that happening. We just...
you told me to say it. You just texted me. You just texted me and told me to say all that. Okay.
But that is a true even for me. I put my wife to sleep one night because even after Hitesh explained it to me multiple times, and with the rollovers and stuff that he's about to go to that next level with you guys, I literally, we just finally got children to bed, and it was probably like midnight, 12:30, and it just really hit me. I was like, this is ingenious. Even we have one at the top, I'm not even going to say his name because he doesn't like us necessarily quoting him because other people may be jealous, said he couldn't believe how damn clever Hitesh's comp plan was. He was just overwhelmed overwhelmingly impressed. And once again, even after hearing him and discussions with our attorney and stuff like that, sitting there, and for myself, it had to be when everyone was in bed sleeping and I was just laying there and just going through my head, and it is just phenomenally what he came up with and how we can use it to make everyone, the average person, the just consumer themselves, not even being an affiliate, have an income to help them with their trading. So it's just an amazing thing. So I just wanted to put that in there because I had the light bulb moment myself, and I think most people will. And just in Facebook, I even saw people saying that it, and they're just like, man, just thank Hitesh for coming up with something so brilliant. Just say thank you to him. So I'd recommend just thanking Hitesh. He's looking out for you
Okay,
guys.
boring talk. Forget about that. Let's move on. Okay, these guys are, you know how.
Hitesh is always
everybody.
also very handsome too. And
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about the second part of this matrix. I can't mute everybody. I think everybody would like me to mute everybody. Just move on.
he's got a very
So,
good style of clothing. He okay.
This is, now this so far is actually part one. Okay, this is only the first part of the matrix, of not the matrix, but of the whole system, of the ways that people get paid. Okay. Now, there's a very quick question I want to answer because a lot of people in their head are going to think, okay, 3x7 matrix, that means this matrix stops at 7th level. And that's not what this means, okay? Remember, there is going to be a level after this as well. There are other people beyond this, okay? So there's like 6,300, some people, actually 400, over 6,400, yeah, 6,500 people on this level. Okay, and then there's going to be something like 19,500 people on the level below that. And it's going to keep going. Okay, but my matrix, my individual matrix is only these 7 levels. But Roger's matrix is going to be these 7 levels. Kevin's matrix is going to be these 7 levels. And then Keith over here, his matrix is going to include this level over there. So you're thinking in a very fixed concept. If you're thinking that, oh, matrix 1 fills up, then matrix 2 fills up, then matrix, no, that's not what's happening here, okay? We have one gigantic matrix. It's not restricted to 7 levels. It's an unlimited depth matrix that exists in 3 separate situations. It exists as matrix 1, as matrix 2, and matrix 3, okay? Everyone gets only paid up to their 7 levels, okay? In part because saying you're going to get paid on your 8th level is kind of dumb because most people won't have their 8th level fill. Okay, that's a way to top load the system and make it seem like, look, you can make so many millions off of the matrix. But in reality, it's practically impossible for most people to have their 8th level fill. Okay, there are not enough people in the world to have more than, I think, 100,000 people to have 8 levels for or something. Okay, so the point being over here is that don't think in very limited terms that once this matrix fills, then this matrix happens. These happen simultaneously. These exist, these coexist at the same time, all 3 of them, okay? So what happens is this is going to change every single day, every single week. Every time somebody else joins, a new person enters the system, they are going to have a chance to be at the top of matrix 2. And by default, somebody else's income is going to be affected here, and they have a chance to be towards the top of matrix 3. Okay, so it's a very interesting dynamic. It's happening all the time. And what happens when somebody drops out? What if Kevin over here cancels his membership? Well, then every single week we do what is called a compression. Okay, and when we compress, Jason will move here, and Keith will move here, and then whoever was over here will move here, and so on and so forth. Okay, that makes sure there are no empty spots in the matrix. So when I have a full matrix, I have a full matrix all the time. Okay, now this is not something that could be achieved right from scratch by anybody. Okay, because by the time the true power kicks in for more than one person, you need thousands of people. And that is why this is phase 2. This is why this is being done after DS Domination, because DS Domination already has 100,000 accounts. So when we begin options domination, where you can make money without recruiting anybody just by using the signals, and you can do all of this amazing stuff in there, and we will talk a little bit more about that in the future, You can also make money with the tri-matrix system. And this can only be done because we have over 100,000 people already who are target audience. So if just, okay, I'm just giving an example. If let's say just 10,000 people out of all of DS Domination and all of our marketing abilities combined join Options Domination, that means we have 8 levels filled for sure, okay? At least we have 8 levels filled. That means there are going to be at least 4 people with their full matrix in every one of the systems without ever recruiting anybody. That 12 people making at least $3,200 every single month in that kind of system, okay? That's a mathematical fact. Note my absence of saying, disclaimer, that result is not typical. I'm not putting that disclaimer on there because I'm giving you a mathematical fact. In a scenario where there are 10,000 active people in this system, in that system, there will be 12 people making minimum $3,200. Okay? And there'll be a lot more people making about 1,000. There'll be a lot more people making about 600, and a lot more people making about 300, and a lot more people making about 180, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's a very exciting way to place things. All right. Now, obviously, the next question becomes, okay, so here's all this money going to customers, and customers are really happy, but there are still going to be some people, and I'm sure mathematically some of you can see, just visually you can see, there are so many people at bottom in these systems, in every MLM in the world. You cannot satisfy every single one just by flipping the matrix twice. Okay, it doesn't work like that. And if I flip the matrix too many times, then we run out of money. Okay, and there's no system in this world where you put in a certain amount of money and more money comes out of it, right? There's only systems like this where you have multiple sources of money. You have the trading making money and the dropshipping making money and so on and so forth. So what do we do here to make sure that affiliates have a good incentive to actually build a good team? And how do we ensure success there? So let's say you're an affiliate in Options Domination and you refer a customer in here. Okay, you refer a customer who is never going to recruit anybody. Okay, so you don't have to worry about them recruiting. The first thing that happens is that you immediately get a 10% referral bonus. Okay, so they join at $49.95 a month. You immediately get $4.995 per month as your income. Okay, that seems kind of small. I understand why that seems small, especially compared to DS Domination, but you'll see why this is actually a pretty good thing. You refer somebody at the highest level, which is legacy, and then you end up getting $39.95 a month. $39.95 a month, basically $40 a month. This goes 5 levels deep, just like we have DST going multiple levels deep. And this is what you can earn per level. Okay, so basically, when you refer somebody and they're on their 5th level, like you referred somebody and they referred somebody, and they referred somebody and they referred somebody, and then they referred somebody, that person, when they pay $49.95 a month, you would get, in that case, basically 40 cents, okay, 49 cents. Okay, doesn't sound much at all. I understand that. And these are not the glamorous parts of the compensation plan that typical people would focus on because they're trying to sell you on a dream. There is no dream here, just mathematical facts, which is very boring, but also very exciting depending on your perspective. So what the affiliate makes right off the bat, but then something else happens as well. The affiliate also gets 5 levels of matching bonuses, okay, which is when the affiliate refers a customer. I refer Roger and Roger makes $1,000 from the matrix, I get 25% matching bonus. So if I referred Roger in this system and Roger made $1,000, I will receive $250 because my referred customer just made money. Okay. Basically, my money making is in a way being tied to the money making of the people that I referred. Okay. And that goes 5 levels deep as well. And I think I made a mistake earlier in this over here. It's supposed to be 3%, 2%, 1%, and then 0.5%. And this over here is your matching bonuses. This means that I referred Roger, and then let's say that Kevin over here referred Keith, okay, because they're both K brothers, and he refers Keith, and Keith ends up making $600 from the matrix system. Okay, from his one matrix. He won't make anything in M2 and M3 necessarily because he's already so high in M1. In that case, my first level was Kevin. Okay, Kevin makes 1,000, I make 250. My second level is Keith. Keith makes 600, I get 10% of that, which is 60. Okay, now note something interesting that's happening over here. There are people making more money, some people making more money than they put in from the matrix without recruiting anybody. And I'm making more money than the volume that I generated in the company because my customers happen to be the ones who are successful. Okay. It's not an infinite system. It is not perpetual motion or something like that. This is mathematically grounded. You can see how it works because by factors of necessity, there's still going to be people who will make very little money. Okay. But the way this has changed is very interestingly, simply because when we say a matching bonus is given to the affiliate, it means something different from when any other company says a matching bonus is given. In every other company, when you are given a matching bonus, that means that you refer an affiliate and that affiliate refers other people and then you make some money. In this case, it means you refer a customer, makes some money from the matrix, you still get money, okay? And in some cases, those customers are going to make thousands of dollars, okay? So that's just the fun part over here. Now, there is one other interesting thing, which works both for affiliates and for other customers, which is called roll-up commissions. And this is I think, a little bit of point of confusion that happened yesterday. Now, note how I mentioned that, I would have made minimum of $3,200 if I had a full matrix, okay? So we stipulated a condition in this system. The condition is this: if you are a customer with no affiliate activity, which means you have not referred anybody, you are not an active affiliate in the system. If you are such a customer, you are limited to $900 per month from the matrix, okay? What that means is that if Jason over here never referred anybody, even though he would have made 1,000, he will only receive 900, okay? That's what that means. And I will explain the reasoning behind this. This is not because we are evil and we want to put the money in Jason's pocket and then he gives us free food. The reason we want to do this is because of two government rules, which actually have sound reasoning behind them. One is the SEC's law about selling unlicensed securities. We don't want to give people the impression that if they just join our system, then they will somehow magically make thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, that's why we put this cap in place. The other reason is the lottery commission. We don't want people to get the impression that they're buying a lottery ticket for $49 and they can win thousands of dollars depending on what happens in that month based on their luck. Okay, we want to avoid those two things. We want to make sure that majority of your income is actually tied to a reasonable production as an affiliate, okay? So what happens to all this extra money? What happens if I refer somebody who makes $4,500 from their matrix, but they're a customer? Here's what happens, and this is a really, really good part. I think this is probably the best part in my opinion. All the try matrix and everything is fun, okay, but so far it's just gymnastics to make sure some more people make money, which is better than every other company, but still, that's okay. Here's what happens here. $4,500 gets made by a person in the matrix, but they are not an affiliate. They have not referred anybody. What happens is they get 900, okay, so minus 900, and that leaves $3,600. Now, out of this $3,600, remember somebody who just got hurt. I referred this customer. If they had made $4,500, then I would have received a nice matching bonus. But to make up for that, out of this $3,600, 30% will roll up to the referring affiliate. Okay, what that basically means is that I will get a $1,200 bonus because my customer would have made this much, but because of the cap, made only this much. Okay, then on top of that, 5 affiliates total. Okay, so the 4 affiliates above me, the guy who referred me and the guy who referred him and the gal who referred him and the amorphous entity that referred them. In that situation, those people will also get 5%. Okay, that would be $180 each. Okay, so you can see that this is very rewarding for the affiliate. I mean, look, it's a good thing. They referred a customer, the customer is making money trading, the customer is making money doing dropshipping, and the customer made some money from the matrix. And keep in mind, this customer just got $900 for really no effort at all. They should be very happy as well. So what happens at this point? Now we still have $1,800. Okay, and here's where the fun really begins. The $1,800 left after this, we take that, and at first it would have gone into Jason's pocket, but we take our greedy hands and stuff them into Jason's pockets, and we pull the money out, and we go and find everybody in the company who after Matrix 1 and Matrix 2 and Matrix 3 still has less than $10. Okay, every customer in the company who's in that situation. And we take that $1,800 and we go and make them whole. We start going in and trying to get them to $10 at least. Okay. Now, depending on the exact configuration in a month and how many people this situation happens to, sometimes we will end up with everybody in the company making at least $10. You can imagine the excitement from that. If everybody in the company wakes up to any bonus money at all, okay, just it's a very, very exciting thing. And if you're an affiliate and you're wondering what kind of a company is going to grow virally and go explosively, and all over the places, it's going to be a company where everybody in the company wakes up to some random money and is completely flabbergasted. Now, on some months, depending on the configuration, because there are not enough people that this happened, we will still have some people who made 0 or made 3 or made 6 or something like that. Okay, but we try our best to make sure that everybody gets at least something. Okay, so on the first look, this is not the best system for an affiliate. But on the second look, you realize that this is actually going to be the system that has the most tremendous organic growth. You will have the most excited members. You will have the highest retention rates. And guess what you're going to have? What do you think is going to happen to this customer after this happens to them? When they realize that they could have made $960, but they only made $900, or they could have made $1,028 and they only made $900. They realize I should probably become an affiliate and refer at least one more person, right? That is what is called organic growth, where we didn't go to this person and say, listen, if you want to make any money in this system now, you better go and start recruiting. Okay, that's what happens, unfortunately, in every other MLM. You go to somebody, you sell them the dream, you say, listen, you're going to make all this money if you just join and just use this magical product. The second they join and start using the magical product, you say, now, by the way, if you want to make money, go sell the magical product to others and tell them to repeat the same process with you. Pretty sad, okay? And that's why you don't see the organic growth, because suddenly this person is shattered. They're like, well, the magical thing you just sold me didn't make me magically a bunch of money. Over here, we're not even telling the customers to go out and recruit. You don't want to recruit, don't recruit. End of discussion. But they're still going to wake up to money, and many of them are going to realize I could have made more if I'd just taken some action. Instead of some guy preaching to them and saying, change your mindset and start recruiting, because it's all in your mind, which it isn't, by the way. There are actually real material facts that also surround us, not just our mindset. In this scenario, you have organic growth, okay? And that's what, in my opinion, is the best part about this company as a whole. That you have success coming in from the signals and the trading and a whole new industry and a whole new world that, unfortunately, majority of the people never get to see. I think one of the first and the most important things that people should learn in school, and I'm not talking about college, I'm talking about like in middle school, is they should learn about investment and what it means and how it should grow and all of these different facets that surround it and how different laws affect it and whatnot. I think that's a very important thing. This is a whole new world to most people, just like dropshipping was a whole new world to a lot of people, okay? They go and they buy stuff all the time, but they never think about it. People see in the news all the time, oh, well, Goldman Sachs did this, and that is why my pay was cut. But nobody actually cares to take action on that. So it's wonderful that we're doing that already. We have an affiliate side that converts customers into organic affiliates that causes tremendous viral growth, that is truly unique, that pays our customers for being customers, and that on top of that pays affiliates to have successful customers, okay? So all across the board, in my opinion, this is the true essence of the whole system and why I think it's going to work as well as it's going to work, okay? And again, I'm speaking that from simulation. This is not a theory thing that we did on paper and we're like, you know what, this sounds exciting. Let's do a webinar with paid. It's actually something that we actually imported all the members in and we ran different scenarios. What happens if 20% of the people only buy legacy and 16% buy this? What happens in that scenario? And we have run simulations like that and we have, found some pretty exciting results. That's why I can speak these things with some certainty. Okay, now comes the most exciting part, which is how does this apply to all of you DS domination people? Why does this matter to DS domination people? Here's why it matters to DS domination people, okay? Now, we had promised earlier that there was going to be a phase 2 that we were going to launch in the saga of domination, okay? And when that phase 2 came, that all of you who had been with us and stuck with us and been our customers for a very long time, were going to get a very cool little gift from us for us, okay? And that's what this gift is. The gift is that in M1, which is an organic matrix, it's a chronological matrix. It's first come, first served. Okay, Hitesh joined first, so he gets here. Keith joined last, so he goes here. Okay, that's what this is. We are giving the chance for all of our DS Domination's active users to come in here and get positions in M1 at a higher place. If you joined DS Domination back in September of 2013, when we had just launched, then you are amongst the first, let's say, 1,100 people in the system. When we import you in here and you become an active options domination member, you will end up with a spot high up in the matrix, okay? And all the other people, the inactive people who are still in DS Domination as a whole, but they're inactive members at this point, okay? They're making money. We actually have a lot of people who come into our system and they quit not because they fail, they quit because they're making so much money. They're like, I don't really need at this point this more dropshipping training. I don't want to listen to Roger and I don't want to use their software. And Kevin can go talk about marketing to his mirror. But they leave not because they're unsuccessful, but they're successful. Those members will then be given a chance to come in and join options domination as well. And on top of that, we have the rest of the world that's outside of DS domination that is waiting to get in on this as well. Okay, so let's talk about the scope there. We are basically putting this in this chronological order. You have DS domination active members that are somewhere up here in the matrix. Okay, so imagine in the background there is this matrix running, okay? So DS domination members are somewhere up here. This is purely a visual demonstration. This does not mean that you will have the first 9 spots in the company, obviously, okay? And then you have the inactive DST members who will be marketed to immediately thereafter. And hopefully if you have seen the presentation and understood what this is about, you can imagine why somebody else would be very excited about it as well, okay? Then all of the inactive DS domination members will go here. And then we have the rest of the world. Okay, now I'm not obviously implying that the entire population of the rest of the planet is going to join us. But my point is that we have a very significant number of people outside of the DS domination ecosystem who will be very interested in something like this. Okay, there are literally millions of people just in the home-based industry. I think there's something like 28 million active people at this point and things like that, which we can tell you just from our interactions with the rest of the world and the type of contacts that we have and people who have approached us already will be a tremendous number of people as well. What this does is it gives a great incentive to all the DST active members to secure good positions in M1, which basically makes sure that they will receive some good income because they'll have people under them. It will then give inactive DST members the same chance, but don't feel bad because at this point, some of you are going to go, well, this is kind of bad because we're kind of robbing the rest of the world. No, we are not. The whole point of the Trimatrix is that this is not a system that is limited by your time of joining. This is not one of the things where you go, join on the ground up, buddy, because the first 500 are going to make money, everybody else is going to suffer. What this is this is going to flip over, and then the rest of the world is also going to make money from M2, okay, and M3. And inactive DST members are going to make money from M2 and M3 and so on and so forth. Okay, so you see how overall this is beneficial for everybody. But this gives you guys a place that is more permanent. Remember, M1 is a fixed chronological matrix. Okay, it doesn't keep changing all the time. M2 and M3 will change all the time, but M1 basically just keeps filling in a chronological order. Okay, so this is why these positions have some value to them, not as valuable as a true simple force matrix system where unfortunately most people are not successful, but it has a very good value to it. And that's our thanks to you guys for being with us for as long as you have been. Okay, and I really hope that things play out the way that we have imagined they will play out. They will not just imagine, but we have projected that they would play out. And if they do, then I'm sure that a lot of you will be very happy with your positions over here. Okay, so that was the whole idea behind this and why we did this. And this is what is leading us into our next phase, in our phase 3, where we will be launching a company that sells something that everybody uses and everybody needs, which is toilet paper, which was a joke. And I was absolutely kidding about that. But I just wanted to see if I could actually use that same tone while I said it and see if people would catch it. But all right, so this is the phase 2. This is what the second phase is all about. And then we do have ideas for third phase and fourth phase and the fifth phase and so on. And then eventually sixth phase where we are colonizing Mars and whatnot. But we do have other ideas, but this is really where things are right now. And this is where things, I believe, will be for a tremendous period of time because there is no other system like this that has a longevity, that has the benefits for their customers, that is actually based on a real world skill and a real world source of money, which is trading and investments, that all combined together work in the way that they do. Okay. So is everybody clear now, or clearer than you were yesterday and the day before, about what is going on with options domination and why it is going the way it's going?
Do you like apples? Sorry.
All right. I got one more thing I want you to blow their mind with real quick. And we talk about the $49 level and how at that level you're making $1 per person in that matrix. But can you talk real quick, not necessarily everything that's in these two related products, but the next two levels and what income levels look like scenarios?
Yes.
The
Yes.
169 and 390 and 399.
Yeah. So
All right,
there are
guys,
three
we're going to be
levels.
blown up.
And here is one of the places where we did listen to a lot of feedback as well. There are three levels in options domination, okay? But they don't build on each other in the same way as you're used to. You don't actually have to have all three active. The three levels are inheritance, and then you have enterprise, and then you have legacy, okay? Legacy costs $399.95 per month. Enterprise costs $149.95 per month. And inheritance costs $49.95 per month. Okay, now important thing to note that enterprise includes everything in inheritance. Okay, so if you have enterprise, you do not buy inheritance, you get it for free basically with it. And legacy includes enterprise and inheritance in it. So if you buy legacy, you get the other two as well. So when you look at this cost, this is not a cumulative cost. You're not going to have all these three things. You just need one, okay? And I give you guys the same advice that I have used before with DST, that you have heard Roger repeat on webinars, Kevin repeat on webinars. Jason has mumbled it secretly and nobody heard it on a webinar, but he meant it too, that you should not buy for yet, okay? And let me now explain what you get over here, okay? The reason this is called inheritance is that when you're going to first begin, you will be relying basically on what you receive from us. You will receive knowledge from us. You will receive a very cool thing in form of broker benefits. And I will explain those in a second to you. And you will also receive signals from us. At the enterprise level, and I'll clarify, these are technical signals that you will be receiving, which are essentially the ones that I showed you in the beginning, these thingamajigs over here. And we see somewhere around, in the neighborhood of 67 to 71% success rate. Okay, like today, for example, we were at 71.4 so far, okay? Again, that's the general neighborhood, okay, subject to market conditions. And those are the signals. Now, on the enterprise level, the reason it's called enterprise is at this point, you grow beyond what the knowledge is that you received. You actually begin interacting with the real world a little bit more. We actually have real market analysts who analyze the market and will be issuing signals based on some things that they see. You will be taking those trades, not just the technical trades. You will be taking those as well, but you will be doing the more enterprise level stuff. And you will begin to understand a little bit more about commodities, futures, how the world works as a whole, why the price of oil has an effect on the price of gas that you're actually putting in your car, which should be pretty obvious, but unfortunately is not obvious to a lot of people. Things like that. You will get that information, but in particular, the key thing over here is you're going to get some stronger signals, which are slightly longer term signals, but they're also signals that you can build an entire business around, because you can use those specifically to grow your income through both binary option trades as well as through commodity trades and futures trading. And we will give you some abilities to that. You will also get some indicators at this point and some strategies directly, where I will actually be exposing some of the rationale behind why these signals are generated and how they are generated, because you will then be able to take some of these indicators and begin to figure it out. Now, we will obviously not be exposing everything about every type of signal that we issue and why we issue those, but you will get to understand how many of these work. Okay, you'll begin to do that yourself if you so choose. Okay. Finally, in legacy, you get the strongest type of signals. These are called unique market signals, or I like to call these intrinsic value signals. Okay, and intrinsic value means that we're actually analyzing what is the intrinsic value of a stock. Let's say Alibaba. What is the stock value of that company will that over time adjust, and what should it adjust to, what's expected to come out there, and things like that. And some of these are, very long-term trades, like a month and a half. So you get these very, very strong level trades. You also get access to wealth protection strategies, and eventually what we will be launching, which will be our private hedge fund. And the private hedge fund is so exciting because you've all heard of hedge funds, and a lot of very bad connotations about them. And it technically just means people putting their money together and they're hedging against losses. And what we end up doing over here is that we have some access to some strategies and some systems that we've been able to set up thanks to the amount of money that we have available. Okay, not to brag or anything, but Jason is a millionaire. So we're able to set some stuff up. How many of you thought when I said not to brag, I was going to say something about myself? See, this is what's called misconceptions in conversations. Anyways, so because of Jason's wealth, we are able to get access to some of these things. I'm sorry. Okay, I was waiting for, I thought somebody was going to say something. But we get access to these wealth protection things, and you can't typically get into this stuff unless you're starting with at least, $100,000 to $200,000. But because of the way we will be able to structure this, and it has taken tremendous amounts of legal preparation, and there will be more of that happening, and we are not going to make that section, the private hedge fund, live until a little bit down the road. We actually have to make sure we have sufficient number of members. We want to make sure everything is working very smoothly, and we are negotiating some terms still. But when that happens, you guys will be able to get in there. The cool thing about that is you don't actually have to manage your trades. You don't have to actually think about the risk factor, because some of these are going to be as close to non-risk things that you can get. Okay, it's like, is fixed deposit in a bank account a risky endeavor? Not really. Of course, everything in the world is risky. I mean, there could be a meteor that hits the earth tomorrow and we would have problems. But in general, in a regular world sense of speaking, this is as close as you get to not having a risk. Okay. So that's the general growth. Okay. And the reason we call it legacy is because that's something that you can actually leave for your kids, and they're going to grow up and they can actually live off of the interest of the accounts that you have left for them. Okay. Not, as I said, not live off the accounts, but they can live off of the interest being generated by the accounts you have left as a legacy for them. Okay. And I will explain something else after this that to me is very exciting about this whole scenario. Okay. Now, I mentioned broker benefits here, and this will hopefully help some of you understand the extent that we've gone to make sure you're safe. Okay. Because the obvious question that you should have asked right here is, what happens if the signals don't work really well? What happens if I don't get it really well? What happens if I click the wrong button? What happens if I do not know how to read? Well, in that case, you go back to school. But in all of the other situations, we have you covered. Here's how. We have organized something with one broker already in written detail, in written agreements, and we have other agreements that are currently in the works, where this is what happens. When you sign up to the broker, okay, in the beginning, you obviously need some money to start trading with, right? So let's say you begin with $1,000. That doesn't mean that you spend $1,000. That means you say to yourself, I am going to use $1,000 to trade, okay, to check out this thing. And you go ahead and put $1,000 in the broker's account. A broker is basically, I'm going to say a website because some of you will understand that better, but a broker is basically a middleman. You go there and you will be taking the trades there, okay? A broker is basically a website that you're going to take trades on for the most part, for all practical intents and purposes. So you put $1,000 in. That doesn't mean you trade with $1,000. You might only take a trade with $50. Okay, and that's actually what we suggest. Don't trade with more than $50 per trade when you have only $1,000. What happens is the broker is going to give you $350 worth of risk-free trades, basically $50 trades and 7 of them. That means if the first trade you take, you lose, the $50 goes back in your account. The second trade you take, you lose, the $50 goes back in your account. The third trade you lose, $50 goes back in your account. Fourth trade you win, which means you just got a $40 profit. Let's say you're getting an 80% payout, you got a $40 profit. $40 goes in your account. Your account balance now will be $1,040. Okay, the first 3 losses will not be counted. And you won the second trade. Well, your balance is now $1,080, and you lost the next trade. Your balance is still $1,080. Okay. Now, some of you might come across something like this. They're called risk-free trades. But understand that usually when you take these risk-free trades, what the broker will tell you is, well, if you lose, then you can't withdraw your money. You have to keep trading forever. These are truly risk-free trades. There is no restriction, no withdrawal limit, nothing like that. You take the trades, you lose, the money goes in your account. You win, you keep the profit. Okay. So right off the bat, you paid $49.95 a month to join Options Domination, or up to $3.99 a month to join Options Domination. We have already given you most of that money back, not even counting the matrix and all that fun stuff. Okay. On top of that, you get the ability, the other risk-free trade, I don't want to say it's a bad risk-free trade, but the other risk-free trade, where you actually have to trade up to a volume to get the money back. You get an option to do that with $250 as well. Okay. What that means, and you'll find all these details in the back office once you're in Options Domination as well. That means that if you win the trade, okay, let's say you take a $50 trade and you win the trade, great, the money is yours, it goes in your account. Your account balance is now $1,120. But if you lose the $50, you have the option for them to put the $50 back in your account, but then you have to trade equivalent to $1,500 to get that $50 to become yours. Okay, what that means is, when I take a trade of $50, that's my $50, my volume of trading. When I take 10 trades of $50, my volume of trading is 500. Okay, that's what that basically means. So when you hit the volume of 1,500 in total trades, which means you've taken $30, then that $50 that you lost over here will become yours again. Okay, so you have the ability to do that too. But I actually don't even necessarily recommend that you do that. I'm just telling you that's available. Some of you will want to do that if you're playing with money and you're like, you know what, I don't care. But right here, you have truly $350 worth of money given to you. The reason that has been given to you is because, once again, we have chosen to take food away from Jason Rose's kids. And we have said, instead of the broker giving him the commission, we're going to give that commission in form of a benefit back to our customers. Okay. And that's what we've done. It wasn't quite as morbid as taking food away from his kids. It was more just taking food away from him, and not just food. It's more like he eats ice creams and whatnot that he shouldn't be eating anyway. We just took that away. And we sold it all on eBay, and that's where you get your benefits from. But that's Roger's function in the company. Kevin threatens him with a missile, iron in, and sneak the stuff away from him. If he chases after me, throw some spices at him, and then Roger sells it on eBay.
Real quick, Hitesh, I got one more question that I think that I would love to cover this. And this is going back to the Matrix guys, so we're going to hop back into affiliate Matrix land real quick. If you're in at a higher level and other people are in at higher levels, what are the income levels? Okay.
Don't break the flow, man.
He was getting to that.
Okay. No, the reason I didn't mention that yet is because I want to finish the product side, okay? And then I want you to go over that part. Okay, so just wanted to finish off the product side. Now, this is available to everybody. This is not something that we're going to say, oh, you're not legacy, forget you only get $50. No, you all need that, okay? If you're just starting out trading, this is what you need. Okay, you especially need it if you're at a lower level, okay? So there is no discrimination from our part about that. But you get other benefits, like I said, stronger signals and a bunch of other fun stuff because of being on a higher level. The reason I didn't mention anything about higher commissions is because I don't want you to make a decision based on the commissions. I want you to make a decision based on what the product is and what it can do for you. Okay, that's it. But there is a side benefit, which is the commissions. And Kevin is going to talk about those commissions now. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm multitasking while I do this, but I'll tell you. Okay, so if you're in here and you come in at the $49 level, okay, the first level to come in here, you get in, you're going to be able to earn $1 per person per month in your matrix. All right, the next level, if you're in at the 149 level, your income from everyone that is in at that 149 level will now go to $3 per month per person at that level in your matrix. All right, so you're tripling your income on the folks that are in at that higher level. If you come in at the 399 level, you're looking at $7 per month per person at that level. So you can see very quickly that the original estimations that were thrown out there, if you had a full matrix, your income goes up dramatically if you have people at those levels and that you're at that level yourself. So just another incentive. Does that make sense to you guys? Higher incomes and higher levels, just like we have here in DSD. Awesome. So if you have that product, now also, you know, once you guys get in, you can look at the compensation plan, the official compensation plan doc, and you can see that there are stipulations that if you're doing X amount of volume at those levels, meaning if you referred 10 people at that legacy level, then you would qualify for that income as well, okay? In the compensation plan as well. But the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to be at that level. Take advantage of all the great things that are in there and guarantee you're going to make an income at those levels.
And to clarify, you are still limited to the $900, but you will actually be able to hit that limit much faster, or you will actually get very close to $900 from Lexi. Now, to clarify this one very critical point, when I say that the cap is $900 a month, keep in mind that a majority of people are not going to hit that cap, okay? And I don't want people to get the impression that what we are saying here is that, oh, look, you are going to make $900 for sure per month. You are not. Majority of you are not, okay? Keep in mind what I said before. Anybody who promises you that they have come up with the compensation system, or they have some system where you can put in a little bit of money and you can get out a lot more money, either is lying to you or they work at the Fed. That's the only two possibilities. And if they work at the Fed, they're probably lying to you anyway. So either way, they're lying to you. My point is, if anybody over here works from the government, my name is Jason Rose. But the point that I'm trying to make over here is that basically, do not be deceived. Do not deceive yourself. Do not listen to anybody else who tells you this, because this is coming right from the horse's mouth, actually a human's mouth. If I had a talking horse, I would be making a lot more money doing something else, not designing comp plans and signaling systems. But you're hearing this here. This is the official statement from the company itself. Vast majority of the people are not going to be generating $900 a month or more than $900 a month from the matrix. If that was happening, there would be no money whatsoever. How can majority of the people be paying $50 to $400 a month and be making $900 a month? That's not going to happen. Okay, just don't make yourself think that you're getting a ticket to potentially making that money all the time. That, like I explained, is a very nice bonus that will affect majority of the membership. But a lot of the people are going to make $100 in a month. Some of them are going to make $280 in a month. Some of them are going to make, and true, like I said, it's a mathematical fact that some of you are going to make into thousands of dollars in the month from the matrix. But do not think that this is a company that is designed to make people money from the matrix. This is a company that is designed to make you money trading from the signals. And even those can have days where they will go wrong, where you will lose more trades than you win. And that's just a fact of life. Okay, just like you will have days where you will put up 100 listings and you will have one sale, and you will have days where you will put up 10 listings and you will have 100 sales. Okay, stuff happens like that. Okay, so I just want to make it very clear. Keep a sound mind in your judgments and in your calculations. Think about this carefully. And like I said, mathematically, it's a fact there will be people who will make a lot of money from the matrix without ever recruiting anybody. And I know for a fact that they're going to be, that our success rate is going to be at least 10 to 20 times higher than any other company. And I say it on statistical basis. In the majority of the companies, the people who make profits are about 1% or less, depending on the structure of the compensation plan and the company itself. In our case, it's going to be 10 to 20 times that right off the bat because of the tri-matrix structure. Okay, that's just the way it's going to work, because that's the statistical fact behind it. That's the mathematical fact behind it. But keep in mind, that doesn't mean that now 90% of you are going to make a profit from the matrix. That still means that majority of the people are not going to be making hundreds of dollars from the matrix or thousands of dollars from the matrix. And in some cases, you'll just make $10. In some cases, you'll make less. Okay. But like I explained, we have gone to every extent possible to make sure that people make at least 10 bucks or so. Okay. And the main idea behind this, the main growth that will happen here, that affects everybody, because the entire growth of the company affects everybody due to the tri-matrix system, because this results in organic viral growth of the company. Even if you made a little money today, it's possible that the next month you're going to make a lot more. It's also possible you make the same or less. But in general, as the company grows bigger and bigger, more and more people experience complete full matrices to 6 levels full, 5 levels full, 4 levels full. And even at 4 levels full, you are looking at into hundreds of dollars worth of money. Okay. So I hate going on a long disclaimer about this, but this industry in particular, amongst a few others, binary options happens to be another one of those, is bred to make people think that you're going to make money doing nothing. We finally have something where that is going to happen for a number of people, but I don't want to give you guys the impression that's going to happen for everybody. Okay, so I just want to make that very, very clear.
Yeah. You know what's amazing about this whole scenario? Who on the call here, just hop in the chat and let me know. Before DS, before options, were you involved in a network marketing company that required you to recruit people in order to grow an income?
I was.
Roger was. You know what's crazy about that? I want, and while the yeses roll in, I want you to think this question. When you recruited somebody, for those of you who have, think about this. When you recruited somebody and you told them you need to go ahead and grow this business, and here's how you get it. We're going to contact your friends and family, but we need to get people in your downline. You need to refer 2 people ASAP. Let's get that moving. And they said to you, and I'm sure this has happened, well, I'd love to recruit, but I need to make money before I can recruit. Has that happened to you guys as well? Have you gotten that answer from people saying that they need to make money before they can recruit, before they can go to their friends, before they can go to their family, before they even feel comfortable posting this on Facebook or on the internet or anything? Happens all the time. So you're in a situation, your customers are in a situation, and your team members that are in DS moving over to options, anyone you recruit, they're in a situation where they can go out there, they can enter the markets, they can grow an income, they can take snapshots of that, they could even go on a demo account and trade, see that it works for themselves, post demo account snapshots. What are we innately giving them in this situation? We're giving them a way to go, wow, I made money. Now I'm on a level playing field with everybody else. Guys, I did make money in this. Come on over. Come take a look at it. And those results can happen fast. And for some folks, like Hitesh said, some customers will come in, they might make $9,000 that month or that week. And in those situations, they can easily go out there and now recruit because they didn't even lift a finger, but they made money. I didn't do anything in this yet, but I made money. You want to come check it out? It's the easiest thing that we can do to give you, that will give you the ability, and people far down the road, the ability to actually go out there and recruit, because you can have success before you even make that first recruiting email, before you post on Facebook, before you do these things. So that to me is a game changer. Just like Michael says right here, prove first and then recruit later. That's the situation you guys are in. And I think everyone knows that we're not too hypey. We don't like to hype things up. Hitesh just went on a long rant about how have expectations, the right expectations. We don't want to sell you something and have it not work. And I think you guys see that this is probably the best thing that has came along since DS Domination.
I really like listening to Kevin talk. He's like the wise military sage of the group. And it's just nice. I like listening to that.
Thank you.
Okay, and now I want to make sure. Okay, so I think we've covered most of the things about options. The obvious next question is, how do we go and make sure that we have our spot in the options domination matrix, which is likely the moment that all of you were waiting for? Okay, and the way that's going to happen is
can I make that wait a little bit longer? Can I hold that up just a little bit and everybody can boo me?
Yes.
Okay. So I think someone has some background noise. 1 second here. Okay. You may have noticed that I have not talked about on Facebook, in groups, during webinars, anything else. This was purposeful. It was determined for 2 reasons: that I would not be after Hitesh and I discussed this compensation plan, that I would not be involved in this process. And one of the reasons was I had to focus on DS domination, which I will continue to focus on the DS domination aspect of it in the interest of time, and it had to be focused on, still does. The second reason is they wanted to take it and exclude me from a lot of the stuff to give a fresh perspective. So I'm seeing it for the first time so I could look at how I would tackle this. All right. Now, when I first started in network marketing, I met Kevin. Kevin was introducing me to a company, and he was showing me his Google AdWords account. That's how long ago it was. Kevin had a Google AdWords account. Affiliate people get that joke. Well, he was showing his account, and it showed how much he spent a month on AdWords. It was like $26,000. Like, yeah, join this company. Look what I spent in AdWords, and I did this. And I'm like, $26,000, and it was astounding to me. So I understand that there's different perspectives on this call as you look at it and say, well, okay, I'll tiptoe and I'll do the $49.95 or the enterprise, the legacy, we'll just check it out. But I was purposely removed from a lot of this process so I could take this and look at this presentation specifically and ask myself how I would approach it so I could advise people that follow me how I would approach this, okay? Now, I have more money than I did when I first met Kevin. Nothing to do with Kevin, just kidding, Kevin. But when I look at this, I'm saying to myself, in my mind, how am I going to grow this? And keep in mind, Hitesh, Kevin, and I are affiliates in this. We're going to be growing this too. So you talk about your matrix growing. When we launched DS Domination, between the three of us, I think we made 10 phone calls. And over 1,000 accounts later, those are probably 10 good phone calls that we made in the beginning of DS Domination. So we're going to be growing these matrices as well as affiliates. So the way I'm going to tackle this personally is I'm looking at this legacy. I'm saying, okay, this is what's going through my mind. If I do the $399.95, it's not a 1 year, 10-year contract or something. It's come up with $400. And I've always gone at the top level of companies, and I always couldn't afford it. And I'm going right back to Hitesh and saying, listen, I'm not saying stretch, beg for change, don't pay the electric bill. Okay, nothing like that. But this is just how I visualize this. And I'm saying, okay, I pay the $399.95. I take the highest quality trades I have. I get 7 of them risk-free. And let's say it does work at 70%, or I'm going to get on the $350 that I could possibly get if I got them all, 75% of that, whatever that is, $245 or something. I'm like, well, geez, I'm only out $150. And then I have these other trades, semi-risk-free trades. And then I have all this knowledge. Then anybody in my matrix, I'm collecting $7 on because I'm at that level. That's how I'm going to approach it. Now, you can take that as a sales pitch. And those taking a sales pitch just don't know me, because people will ask me all the time, should I start at Pro or Genesis? And I'll say, listen, don't do Genesis to start with. It's a $1,500 product when you could be starting at $20, work your way up, prove it to yourself, et cetera, et cetera. I often talk people out of joining in at the higher level. When I'm looking at this, I'm just giving you the perspective that I would take to get involved in this options segment. And this is how I look at it, from basically the same view that you're seeing, because other than the compensation plan, I have not been involved in any of this process purposely. So it was, I guess, a smart move by us to get together and say, Roger, you go do DS and we'll focus on this, and then we'll show you what we got. And then you comment. You can go through all my Facebook threads and everything else and my message. You won't see me talking about options at all. I'm blown away, as I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time as well, with the exception of the webinar the other night. And I'm just giving you my approach and my thinking going forward. So with that, Hitesh, please continue on.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not really sure how to give you guys anything better than that, because I would say that of the belly-to-belly marketers that I know of, Roger is by far the best. He has multiple advantages. You have heard him speak. He's very good at speaking. He knows how to make connections with people, and he has a larger than usual belly thanks to the donuts. So he's a very good belly-to-belly marketer because of that too. Sorry about the last one. I just had to throw it in there. But he is giving you guys genuine advice about that. You need to start out in this. You really need to pursue this like DS Domination, in the sense that you're building a business that is independent of recruiting, and the recruiting part will only come in later. But what will happen, I think what will happen is that for many of you, before you get even to the point where you can say, yes, I'm making a lot of money with the trading aspect of this, or yes, I can see the value in the trading aspect of this. Before that even happens, I think some of you, or hopefully many of you, will notice how this matrix thing is actually playing out. And that will give you enough confidence in the whole system that you will get going with it. Now, I'm going to give you one more side point with this, which is not really even a side point. Imagine a company that sells weight loss pills. Imagine another company that sells iPhone cases. Imagine a company that sells pens. Imagine a company that sells computer screens. Imagine a company that sells telescopes. Okay, any of those companies. Imagine one of those companies with this compensation plan. You would never hear the end of it. All they would do is go on and on about this compensation plan and how you could make money in their company. And that's the absurdity of the whole situation. I mean, it's astounding to me that we have this, and it just speaks to a testament of what we think we have. We have this system, we have this compensation plan, and I know it's going to have a very good impact on everybody, but we are really suggesting strongly that you focus on the actual product. You focus on the trading side, focus on e-commerce side, and both of these things actually work together. And that's why when you actually go to options domination and you actually have your account in options domination, you're going to find this little e-commerce integration in the background as well, where you will be able to integrate your DS domination account with your options domination account together. Okay, so you will actually have a lot of benefits in options domination that you have up until this point. You're going, oh, this is a separate thing. This whole system is designed to work together. You're making some money from dropshipping. You're making more money from the elite side. You're making very strong money, and in some cases one-hit wonder kind of money from the product sourcing. You're using some of that money for trading. You're multiplying that money and putting it into longer-term trades, which at the same time you're building a nest egg with, which you can leave for your family, which is the ultimate aim that every one of us has. I once heard a person make a point that they thought that we could do really well as a nation and as a society if we taxed everybody's inheritance at 100% and said everybody starts at the same page. And that's absurd. That would destroy the nation. That would destroy society as a whole, because people will work the hardest and people will work the most thinking they can give their children a better life than what they had, right? And that's the ultimate point here, that we all think that if we can just get to the point where we can leave a legacy for our families, for our genealogies, for our generations, then that's worth it. Then going through this whole process and listening to this Indian guy talk for 2 hours, that was worth it, because I actually was able to do something for my family. Okay, so that's the whole idea here. Now, without wasting any more time, the question you will all have is, where do I go? I want to be in options domination. I want to reserve a spot for myself. Thank you for this gift. We want to make sure that we are DS active members and we get our good spots in M1. The way you go about it is very simple. You will go and fill out a form which looks like this. You're going to put your DSC username, your first name, last name, and your email, which should be your same email that you are using in DS domination. Make sure it's the same email. When you click on lock in your spot, within 24 hours, we will actually confirm that your account is valid and it is approved for this. You will receive an email with the link. You will go to that link and you will be able to create and lock in a spot in options domination, whatever level you want to get. It's your choice. The second you have done that, you will basically have the spot preserved for you, a spot in here preserved for you based on your original sign-up date in DS domination. So if you first joined DS domination in September 2013, you joined it in March of 2014, you will be higher up than somebody who just joined. But keep in mind that if you are somebody who just joined DS domination, you're a very recent active member, there are two things that are going to happen. One, you will naturally be closer to the top of M2 right away, but you will also be above all the inactive DS domination member, as well as above all of the other members who are going to be joining later. So even those of you who will be in the worst position, quote unquote, from this first compression are going to be in a tremendously advantageous position from the compensation plan side of things. So on top of that, really nobody should be complaining, because you all have this whole system working for you. And I think that is a tremendous benefit to everybody because none of us, when we started out, had anything like this. I used to work cleaning university apartments while writing articles online, while running AdWords campaigns, which all ended up doing well for me. I, was able to use all of that money combined to grow from there. Roger has done basically everything you can think of: coffee MLM, health shake MLM, donuts never launched as an MLM, so he didn't do that one. Kevin has done a lot of marketing online. Jason has fixed people's backs. Jason has fixed people's arms. He has fixed people's heads. He has done a whole bunch of stuff as well, typically involving fixing people. But my point is that across the board, we've all put in a lot of effort. We've all done a lot of stuff. But if we had a system like this that actually relied on non-recruitment activities, then we would have all been doing this. And so you have this tremendous benefit to focus on this. And really, you should. And that would be it. So Kevin, do you want to drop the link for everybody in the chat box so everybody has the link? For those of you who are looking to type the link, it's dsdomination.com /
Wait. Don't give out the link. All they have to do is log into their back office.
Okay.
Right on the home page, there's a big banner right there that says lock in your spot. And it looks like everyone's already found that because the numbers are kind of staggering as how many people have already filled that out.
Okay, I assumed as much. And again, we don't even mind giving you the link necessarily, and I didn't, because it's going to be verified that you actually have an active account. So unfortunately, there are going to be people who are going to say, I don't know, I'm going to scooch in and take one of these spots. Well, if you're not an active DST member, we will know, and you will not have that spot, okay? So make sure that you're an active DS Domination member. The minimum you need is Pro. Okay, which is not much to ask. So make sure that you're active and we will go from there, okay? Then I think we have covered most or everything about options domination right now. And yes, and let's give you a deadline on this. You have until the 1st of February midnight, okay? 1st of February midnight is how long you guys have as active DS Domination members to go and sign up and make an account in Office Domination. So go and fill out this form that's in the DS Domination back office, and you'll be able to activate your positions through there. Now,
time zone, please. Time zone.
And this is based on a server time, which I believe is Central Time. Okay, so midnight. What happen is when you actually log into your account in Options Domination, so when you fill out this form, then you guys will get to go into your options, and then you're going to see there'll be a timer over here that will tell you next matrix compression is going to happen when. Right now it says 27th January. It's actually going to say 1st February, and you'll actually have a down to the second breakdown of when that will be. And this is, by the way, what your DST connection will look like. You'll be able to connect your DST account with your Options Domination account, which is another tremendous news for those of you who are affiliates, because when you refer somebody to Options Domination, they're going to actually see and understand this whole system and how it all works together. And if they choose to join DS Domination in the future, they will be credited to you in DS Domination as well. So you'll naturally actually be growing your two businesses at the same time as an affiliate. Same thing will happen in DST as well. Okay, and in the future, as we continue this quest for domination across all different spheres of influence, then that will also continue happening with you. So 1st of February midnight is the cutoff. You have until then to go ahead and decide what level you want, commit to that level, and go from there. Okay, and that's what you want to do. Okay, let me address this one thing, because this has come up, and I've seen this on Facebook many times as well. And is this cap of $12,000, $12,600, I think was the figure. Because what happened in the last webinar is I said something like, you could make anywhere from $3,000 to $12,600 from a full matrix. And suddenly when people go, wait a second, is there a cap of $12,600? No, there is no cap. Let me explain. If you had a full matrix with everybody who had only bought the inheritance level, the first level of $49.95, then it would be full of people who will generate $1 a month for you, which would give you roughly about $3,200. Okay. On the other hand, if it was full entirely of people who had legacy, and you were a legacy member as well, which means you qualified for the $7 on each one, then you would have somewhere in the neighborhood of $22,000. Okay. Now, I am not absurd enough to suggest that anybody is going to have a full matrix composed entirely of legacy members. Okay. So in my head, I just came up with a very quick thing and I went, well, if 30% of the people were upgraded to enterprise and another 25% upgraded to legacy, what would that come to? And it comes to roughly about $12,500, $12,600. So I was trying to do the expectations management thing where I was saying, if you have a full matrix, then this is the rough range that you can make money in. And depending on the breakdown of who is in your matrix, your range will most likely be this. Okay, because like I said, now, other companies, if they had a system like this, they would say, you can generate up to $22,000 while doing nothing. And that would be absolutely false because that is a practical impossibility. I cannot imagine your matrix being full entirely of legacy users. So this is just a case of us being honest with you and saying, look, it's kind of nonsensical to expect that your matrix will be full of legacy members. It'll be a healthy mix, hopefully, of many different levels. Okay, minimum would be this, and practical maximum, practical expectation would be something like this. It really shouldn't be more than that, in my opinion. So that's what I meant by that. That is not a cap by the company. That is not a limit by the company. It might as well be 12,604. Okay, that's all I was getting at. So hopefully that's clarified to everyone. There is no other cap. The only cap that exists in the entire system is for customers with no affiliate activity of $900 a month, which should keep everybody happy, and so on. Okay. All right. Can you start at any level and then move up? Yes, you can. In fact, we recommend that you comfortable to you. You can start at inheritance, understand the whole concept, get used to the concept, get used to taking signals, get used to trading. We actually suggest that the first 3 to 4 weeks you trade on a demo account where you're able to trade without actually risking real money and get used to the whole process. And then you can move up. You can move to enterprise or legacy or whatever. When you do, you will naturally cancel your previous subscription. You will not require an inheritance subscription. If you have any of these two, if you have legacy, you don't require either of these two because you'll have everything. Okay, so that's everything about options domination. The link is in your members area. And Kevin, can you tell us exactly where it is in their members area? Oh, look, it's this giant image that says, click here to lock in your options domination spot. Okay, and there'll be a webinar here. I'm sure that this webinar is being recorded right now. Be over here so you can refer to it if you have questions, or you can refer your downline to it, or anybody else who has questions about it, you can send them to it as well. Okay, so and yes, to confirm, if you are a DS Domination affiliate and you refer people in DS Domination, when we import them into Options Domination, you will automatically have them as your downline. They will be your referrals in there as well. Okay. And to clarify this thing, this is specific for $1,000. There are different. If you were to put in $2,500, you get a different number of risk-free trades and different volume of them. If you had 5,000 in there, it would be different. If you had 500 in there, it would be different. In my opinion, if you have less than $1,000 to consider trading with, then you should focus more on the dropshipping side of things, or the affiliate side of things, instead of focusing on trading at that moment. Okay, trading is what you do once you have some funds coming in, not something that you do with the last money you have. That's called gambling. That is not something that we suggest. But if you do want to do that, then meet Roger in Las Vegas and he will help you make money in poker. But that's it. Okay. Next step, after you sign up, after you've locked in your spot for Options Domination, we will verify that you are an active DS Domination member, and you will receive a link in email telling you where to go and finish setting up your Options Domination account, where you will actually make the payment and so on. Okay. Do you have to sit all day at the computer and trade all day long? No, you don't. You will see that the trades actually come in at a healthy interval. And at the attendance level, you shouldn't be too worried about saving time, honestly, about winning trades. What will happen is when a trade arrives, so you can leave your screen on. When a trade arrives, your whole screen will shake and there will be a loud noise. Some of you might wonder if it is the second coming, but I assure you it is simply some racket from your computer. And all you have to do is take the trade at that moment. We will also be actually giving you guys an app. I kept thinking of some nicer name for it, but it's an app, which is a very inspired word apparently. But an app which you'll be able to download and install on your phone, and will give you trades as they come in. So you will be able to take these trades without actually being at your computer all the time. And the brokers that we will give to you also have their own apps. So you can actually trade from your phone if you so chose. And we could probably call it beast trading or something, because you can do it with your phone instead of a computer. That was probably a low blow. I shouldn't have said that. But anyways, we are done with options discussion, I think. So we will come back to options domination questions. We will answer more of them, but there are a couple other announcements that need to be made. There's specifically one announcement that needs to be made that is an important announcement. And it is related to the infection of Jason Rose.
Oh.
Okay. So like we have just gone over, that at this moment, we have all seen what generosity does, okay? So you have Jason Rose with his generosity, allowing us to create something that will allow a lot of people to benefit, okay? And you've all seen this movie, Pay It Forward. I think it was unnecessarily emotional and quite unrealistic in some instances, but the idea was good. The idea being that you could actually do something good, and it would in return cause other people to do something good as well. So basically Jason Rose's behavior kind of infected us, and we were like, you know what, this whole options domination thing makes DST look bad. So we need to do something on our affiliate side as well that makes DS domination look a little bit better. So what we have decided to do is add a little bit more money on top of everything else in DS domination for our affiliates, because not just the success of DS domination, but also the success of options domination is really a direct result of our affiliates and them working hard and them referring people and so on. We also like to credit 0.5% of that success to Roger for holding the webinars, and about 1/4 of the percent success for me to build the platform and so on. But in general, we hold our affiliates by and large in the greatest regard. And that is actually the place that Kevin has shined the most, because he has worked very hands-on with a lot of these affiliates and made sure that they were able to get what they needed and made them successful. So after a lot of discussion and feedback and all that, we have come up with a new thing for DS domination affiliates, which I will need to make the screen, the paint canvas a little bit bigger for, which is new and improved. Apparently, I'm forced to say that just because Jason must have new and improved as a phrase together. New and improved DSD affiliate rankings. Okay. So what happens here is basically we have come up with a system where when our affiliates hit a certain amount of volume in sales, when they hit that volume in sales, in total sales that they have done, we basically give them a new rank in the system and give them a little reward for it, okay? I'm gonna show you the very kind of gross looking version of it, which is this. And this is, unfortunately, we left the graphics up to Roger, and what he came back with, we realized that just the standard Microsoft Office 360 looked prettier than that. So we just go with this. Other than the smudges from donuts on it, we couldn't even feed it. But
leave my Roger alone.
So here's basically what happens when you generate $4,500 worth of volume, okay, which actually a significant number of affiliates have already done. I believe upwards of 100 or 200 have already done this very easily. I would be very wrong. I think it's more than that. They will receive this award of $100 as well as their ranking, okay? And we will show you the ranks in a second. We have 7,500, 250, 9,750. It unlocks level 2 customer commissions. Okay, and there's a secret meaning to this, and we will talk about the secret meaning in a minute. We have 12,500, gives them $500. 25,000 gives them unlocks level 3 customer commissions. That's pretty cool as well. It's actually cooler than level 2, just as the numerical order would imply. And then we have 52,500, gives them $2,500. This is a one-time thing. 102,500 gives them $5,000, one-time thing. At these levels, also, when they maintain a monthly volume of this much, okay, and that's a volume across their genealogy, okay? It's not when they refer these many sales to us. When they do this in volume, then they will also receive this much monthly, okay? A monthly bonus. So if they're doing $10,000 a month in volume, they will receive this as a monthly bonus, which works out to this much in annual bonus. So $12,500 in annual bonus. I'm sure I'm supposed to say it with a lot more theatrics and a lot more clapping and shouting and some motivational code to make you guys think that this is more money than what it is, but it actually is still $12,500. But if you add it all up, it basically means that our affiliates who actually hit the highest rank, the 7th level, they will actually be receiving a bonus of $50,000. Okay, because they get $5,000 up front, plus they get $45,000 a month. I have a sneaking suspicion that we have a couple of affiliates at least who are at this level or are very close to this level. But either way, this is just free money on top of everything else. This is just, us saying, hey, look at us. We are the nice guys to, turn away from Jason Rose. Look at us. Yay. But that's our lame attempt at it. And that's what we could do with the existing compensation system that we have. We came up with some rankings in here, and for some odd reason, my Excel sheet has decided that this is a glorious moment to stop working. So give me just a moment, and I will restore the sheet. Okay, and so the rankings are a very inspired silver, gold, platinum, emerald, ruby, sapphire, diamond. And the reason for that is we had a very spirited discussion about many different values that we could use there. But this is what everybody across the world seems to be familiar with. My personal suggestion was that we should go with various infectious diseases. Oh, look, you're a good affiliate. You're the common cold.
Okay, here we go.
Everybody gets.
I had to talk him down off this ledge earlier.
Eventually, hepatitis C. The last one I thought would be great if it was Ebola. It was like, oh, Ebola. Everybody knows this thing is powerful and dangerous and stuff. Lord. We'd have, Ebola Stinson. The unit. Come on. But have you seen the unit? I mean, they're like all over the Facebook. They are all over. Talk about viral multiplication. So I was like, this is so cool. It's like the concept of viral growth combined with how effective they are, and it's a unique thing. And then eventually I was talked into just having these metals and
a disease level called the Hitesh Comedy Hour.
That wasn't comedy hours. I mean, I was set on that for weeks, but you guys have decided that. This is the problem in the world, okay? Nobody wants to value unique, creative ideas. Everybody's like, well, but nobody would know what that means.
Okay, we have a habit of doing this. Yeah, we're giving away 2 brand new cars, and all these leaders from other companies contact, well, what's the gimmick? Because everybody else does car payments. And we're like, whatever, it's 2 cars. Yeah, we're giving away Super Bowl and no update, and somebody won. Yeah, we're giving away this, and this is real. This is really good money. So I'll blow it up a little bit for everybody. And this is not personal recruits. This is team size and stuff like that. So doesn't need to be, but we're just going to do it. We'll probably never talk about it, and we'll just pay money out of our pocket for mentioning it on tonight's webinar.
Well, this is the thing, though. I don't think we will need to talk a whole lot about it, because when this goes live, and what we will do is basically you will log into your back office, it will show you your rank, and it'll show you how much volume you require to get to the next level. Okay, so it'll have this effect, I think, of encouraging affiliates to go hard and grow their teams. And when they are at a level, like it'll show them in that month, oh look, you only have $31,000 in volume, you need 4,000 more, and stuff like that. It's really a gimmicky attempt to get people to do more as an affiliate. So, which all of you should be happy about, because when that kicks in, okay, I'm sorry. I just realized how disparagingly we all speak about our own company. It's really sad. But when this kicks in, it will cause also the same kind of viral growth to happen in options. Okay, so in options domination, we'll see a viral growth effect from this side of things, which in turn will cause greater earnings in the matrices for all the people, which in turn will cause a viral growth to happen in options domination because there's more people making money from the matrices, more people excited about it, which in turn will cause, because of the DST integration over here, more people to join DS domination. So there's going to be a cyclical effect that these two are going to have on each other, that they will constantly push each other to grow faster and better. That's part of the reason why we are able to afford to do this, because we have enough faith in that kind of a viral growth that we think it's actually going to work. And if we are wrong, then we will all just make sure that Roger sells enough on Amazon for all of us. And then we will all go to Jason and basically accuse him of giving us bad ideas. But that's basically the story behind what's going to happen here. Okay, so if everybody understands this,
real quick, I just want to say this. Most companies that give out bonuses and things of that nature within their comp plans, it comes from a detriment to the average guy. Meaning the average guy makes less money because they had these bonuses built into the comp plan. Guys, this is above and beyond what we already had. The rest of the DS Domination compensation plan, you know, the one that pays out up to 75%, which most companies pay out to 30%, that little compensation plan there, that doesn't get changed. This is extra money that we are paying out because we want to make more people succeed and get more things going with DS and give you guys a way to get these bonus checks. It doesn't take away from the existing compensation plan. And I say that, and some of you might be like, well, duh, but you know what? Most companies out there, that's what they do. Okay, they build these great big bonuses as a detriment to the average guy, and that factors into a lot of the breakage that they have, just so they can say that one person made all this money. We at DS don't care about one person making all the money. We want the average person to succeed. So the compensation plan has not been touched. It doesn't go down. You don't make less money. You make the same as what you're doing now. This is all gravy on top of that. So I just want to toss that out there.
Wait, I thought we were launching something different because our company's failing like every other company would do and put a spin on it and call it Rippling. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Back to you.
Yeah, our company is doing so good, we are able to give even more money. So just it's a big thank you to you guys who are out there making things happen in DS, you know.
And
pretty
to
awesome.
clarify this point, yes, the volume you have already generated will be counted. So when this whole thing goes live, you will wake up, many of you will wake up, and you will find this extra rank, and you will find this extra bonus or this extra bonus in your back offices added to you. Okay, now the annual bonus, okay, is not going to count from whenever you were in DSC. This is going to start counting from now, okay, because this annual bonus is actually given in the form of a monthly bonus, okay? So every month that you hit this volume, you will receive this in that month, okay? So I want to be very clear about that. If you have in 10 months of the year, you hit this volume, but you know, 2 of the months you did not, then you will just receive $2,082, $2,083 actually less than what you would have, okay? So this begins now, but this will be added to your accounts if you have already hit it, okay? We're gonna actually count your previous volume that you have already accumulated towards this, and we're gonna thank you for it, and this is our thank you for it, which is basically more money, and that is that. All right, and the volume just means the sales made by a person. Okay, it's the actual sales volume. So when you refer to somebody DS Domination, they buy a $20 pro membership, you have $20 towards your volume. Okay, and that is that. Now this over here, obvious question: what is this unlock level 2 customer commissions, unlock level 3 customer commissions? I will only say this at this point, that we have gone over some very exciting things so far, and we would like to preserve and leave something that we can show you at a later point. There is something that this ties to, which will be released and shown at a later point, And I can assure you that this will be worth far more than a dollar figure that would typically inhabit this area if you just went by the ratios here.
I would say, I would go as far as say I'd rather have that unlock level 3 than any of these bonuses on the screen.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. So we will explain that later. We're not going to explain that right now. We kind of took a vow day before yesterday that we will only discuss things that are 99% go already. Okay, and this thing is not 99% go, and it will require some management and time, which we will not have because of options domination and the new compensation plan and a few other things. So we're going to wait on this just a little bit longer. And then once we actually make this live, you will see what this means. You will see why this is so much more important than the names given to them of Platinum and Ruby. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so just think of this as a teaser for something more exciting in the future. For now, focus on making money with e-commerce, making money with product sourcing, making money with trading, making money with investments, and making money with the matrix, and then making money as an affiliate. Okay, so that's what I would suggest that you all focus on and think about, and I think that would serve you well. Okay, final questions, final round of questions, and then we should close this off. We are coming up on 2 hours already, and I know that you've all been waiting here a very long time, and we don't want to keep hundreds of people here. What happens when our matrix is full? Do we keep using the same matrix over and over? Please, I would suggest that you review this presentation one more time to understand exactly how matrices work. But once your matrix is finished, is full, it is full, and that is a good thing. And if you're in M1, then it will likely remain full. But that's it. I mean, you have reached the epitome of a human that can collect money from the trimatrix system. So, yay for you.
At that point, if your matrix is indeed full and you're sitting there, your income will then be going up based on what levels people are in the matrix, where your customers fall in matrix 2 and 3, things of that nature, and that check match bonus. Do not discount that. 25% for those folks on your level 1, 10 on level 2, so on and so forth. Okay, so those check match bonuses are going to play out huge in here. If you guys are recruiting into options domination, you'll see some ridiculous incomes compared to, comparatively speaking, to the DS domination comp plan. Pretty much anything else out there. So there you go.
All right, and people asking about who is a DS domination broker we'll be working with. You will see that in the back office. I am not at liberty to share it yet. Okay. Also, I believe I have caused at least 2 people to think that FXCM as a company has anything to do with us, and it doesn't. And I think that's because they're looking at this icon on my screen. That's just the icon of MT4, okay, which is just a platform that is used to look at chart. It's just a charting station. So no, FXCM has nothing to do with us, and FXCM is not a broker that we are using and all that good stuff, okay? And if that was not pertaining to you, just forget about anything that I just said, because it will just confuse you for no reason. If you're not ready for options trading, should you get your place in the matrix anyway? I cannot give you any advice on that. That is entirely up to you, okay? Entirely. You can choose to make sure that you have a matrix position now because you think you'll be trading in the future. But I cannot tell you what you should choose to do, because I don't want to give you a false assurance that, oh yeah, you should do this because you're going to make so much more money from the matrix. I don't want to say that. There's a possibility you will do this and you will make, $500 from the matrix. There's a possibility you will make nothing from the matrix. So I don't want to give you a false impression. I think you should buy something only when you can see a clear usage for it, not because of some side benefit that may or may not occur. That's the way that I typically like to do things. There's a saying that a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush or something like that. It basically means that you should focus more on the sure things you already have that are working for you instead of focusing on things that might work, that present an otherwise tempting allure to themselves. So if you have your dropshipping and e-commerce side of things and you're not ready to enter trading side, you're worried about what's going to happen with your money, then focus on the trading, on the dropshipping side right now. Thankfully, we have a system that, while does give some benefit to joining early, is not restrictive. It doesn't mean that if you join at a later date, you can't make any money from the matrix. That's why we set up the matrix the way we did. So you can actually join this at a later date if you want without any problems. Okay. Okay. Can you clarify what 7 risk-free trades mean? Does that mean the first 7 trades, whether they are wins or losses, or if they're first? Yes, that means first 7 trades, whether wins or losses. If you took all 7 trades and you won all 7 trades, which would give you at an 80% payout, $280 in profit, your 7 risk-free trades are done. And you should be pretty happy because you ended up making $280 with no real risk to yourself. On the other hand, if you took the 7 trades and you lost all 7 trades, then you would keep your balance as it is and you would not lose a penny. Okay. Typically, you will find a mix. It'll be like 5 wins, 2 losses, 3 losses, or 3 wins, 4 losses, and so on and so forth. And in those cases, any loss that you take will be reimbursed to you. Any win that you have, you get to keep your winnings. That's what the risk-free trade means. There are a lot of questions and they're moving very quickly. Is there an extra cost to be an affiliate? Oh, we should have clarified this. Yes. So just like DSD, to be an affiliate, options, it's $9.95 a month. Okay, it's the exact same thing. And again, the simple reason is, one, this distinguishes between, it's a legal distinguishing between an affiliate and a non-affiliate, which is a customer. And this is also when we have all the payment processing costs, the gateway costs, and things like that, we don't pass it on to our members. We actually just offset that by this, okay? And at this point, for example, in DST, this doesn't actually offset our payment processing costs or anything like that at all. We just worry that if we were to try and pass that on to you, it would just, it's just taking away money from affiliates, which is dumb. We just don't like doing that. But yes, you would, if you want to be fully active, I guess you would need this, and you would need to choose one of the products. That way you will get both the matrix income as well as affiliate income. But let's say that you chose to only be an affiliate, okay? In that case, you will not have a position in the matrix, okay? Because customers only earn from the matrix, okay? Or the tri-matrix. Affiliates only earn referral commissions, plus roll-up commissions, plus matching bonuses. Okay, so if you were, for example, a person, okay, very hypothetical situation, let's say you are a person who refers 100 people, 100 customers into options domination. And those 100 customers end up making $100 from the matrices on average each, okay? Then you would earn $2,500 in matching commissions. Plus you would earn whatever the referral commissions come to. If they're all, let's say, on the $49.95 a month level, then you would earn another $500 almost. So you would, in that case, be earning something like $3,000 purely as an affiliate, even if you were not in the matrix at all, okay? So you are not required to be in the matrix. You're not required to be a customer to earn any and all affiliate commissions. But the matrix exists primarily for the customers. If you would like to earn the maximum possible from the matrix, then you should be a customer and an affiliate and be active. That's all that you need, basically. Okay, so I hope that part is clear. I don't want anybody to be confused amongst these two. There exist 2 compensation plans, one for customers, that is a tri-matrix, one for affiliates, which comprises of the referral commissions, the roll-up commissions, and the matching bonuses. Okay?
I'd say something real quick, Hitesh. A lot of people, we have that $9.99 affiliate tacked on to those who, want to be distinguished affiliate. I just want to say something real quick because a lot of folks like, why do we pay $9.95 a month to be an affiliate? Here's the backstory on that. For those of you who've ever been in a network marketing company, they have these crazy entry packages that are way above market value. And those crazy entry packages are designed so that the company can make a lot of money when you sign up, knowing that you're probably not going to be there for more than 2 days. And number two, that is what distinguishes you as an affiliate in those companies. So when you see these companies with a $1,000 package to get into this network marketing company, that's what that is. You're being distinguished as an affiliate, number one. Number two, they have more money on the front end, knowing that you won't be there in 2 months. But with us, we don't do that. We charge something lower, $9.95 a month, because we know you're going to be here for a long time. We want to keep your upfront costs down, and there's legal things going on in the background that require us to distinctly differentiate. I'm sorry, I'm still sick. Between a customer and affiliate. Okay, so that's why we run the $9.95, and we think that that's actually, I think that's the lowest in the industry, to be honest. So.
Kevin has a condition that messes with his pronunciation and grammar.
Yeah. And my wife tried to get me to go to karaoke, like, when I was sick. It was horrible. Anyway.
Enunciation. Whatever.
Thank you, Roger.
I was correcting attention.
And that's why I was thinking you.
You're welcome. Differentiation for you.
How often is the M2 flipped? It's flipped weekly.
The M2 and M3 are recreated every single week. Well, I don't want to say every single week. It's 4 times a month, and a 5th time right before commissions are calculated. Okay, so we try and do it actually 5 times every single month. Sorry. The M2 is constantly being updated, so that actually changes all the time. But it actually, overall, like I said, the true effect of that, however, comes only at the end of a compression. Know what your status is in the matrices in a very simple way. You will know what the next compression date is, and what will happen is when you log in, let me show you guys this actually, because I don't want to just talk about hypotheticals. So what's going to happen is you're going to see over here, view matrix stats. You can see the next compression already, and you'll see affiliate stats. When you click on view on the stats here, or you click on the affiliate stats here, it's going to give you a rough breakdown, an estimated breakdown of how many people are in your matrix, where you are, how much money you can expect to earn from the matrix. Okay. The same thing happens on the affiliate side. You can actually see a rough estimate. That is not a real, this is how much you're guaranteed making. It's based on the most recent compression, this is where you were. So after every compression, we actually do a calculation, which will show you what's the rough estimate on what your matrix has generated for you. Okay. Now, all of that can change depending on how many people drop out, how many new people join in, how many people upgrade their level, how many people downgrade their level, how many people have the $900 cap, how many people don't have a cap, and all of that stuff. Okay, so you know how that changes all the time. But after every compression, so basically 4 times a month minimum, you'll get the snapshot that will show you exactly where you are and how much you're potentially going to make, which will allow you to make some strategic decisions on what you should do. For example, you could look at your matrix status and you could go, hey, if I actually, right now I'm at the inheritance level and I'm making $120, but if I upgraded myself to the legacy level, then I would make $419, in which case you could justify that cost, right? So you would be able to make some decisions like that. But by and large, you will get a good snapshot every single time we have the compression, both on the affiliate side and the matrix side. Now, on top of that, there is one other thing that must happen, which is at the end of the month, we run those roll-up commissions. And then we find all this extra money, right, from people who had a cap on them. And if we ever find that extra money where people had a cap on themselves, then that money will be distributed to people who have not made anything yet. So there are going to be some cases where you will see that your matrix status shows you that you have $0 so far. And at the end of the month, you still end up with something, okay? But that hopefully gives you guys a much better position of where you are. As you can see, we have thought about a lot more than just a unique system, and we've tried to include what we think people are going to need going forward, because it is kind of a unique system and so on. So hopefully that answers all the questions about that. So the M2 will never pay out the full 3x7 compensation because it's a monthly subscription. No, Clinton, I think you got it wrong completely. The M2 is pay out a full matrix. M3 will always pay out on a full matrix. M1 will always pay out on a full matrix, at least until there are minimum of 3,200 people in the entire company. Somebody in the company in that scenario on M1, 2, and 3 will receive a full matrix income, okay? The flipping weekly part is simply saying when we find people who are inactive, when we find that new people have joined the company and all of those things, every single week we compress the entire system and recreate the matrices to make sure that the latest people are accounted for and the people who have dropped out are not holding positions that should not belong to them. Okay. Again, some of this is going to be a little bit confusing because this is such a different take on everything. Okay. This is not typically how affiliate compensation plans are created. So you will understand this more as you think about it more, as you look at this presentation maybe one more time, and in some cases two more times. If you don't get it after 3 more times, then forget that you make anything from the matrix and only go in thinking that you are buying signals for trading and education for trading, okay? Which I can assure you, we are priced significantly better than anybody else in the market. There are companies that are charging between $300 to $5,000 for trading signals. And that's exactly why what we are offering is indeed well worth its market value. It's actually better than its market value. So that's the whole point, okay? I just cannot insist enough. I want to make sure that this compensation plan take is not abused as a way for somebody to go out there and market this as a magic system that pays everybody money. You know there are going to be people out there who go out and start saying that, and I don't want you guys to have that impression, okay? Other signals are every month. The signals actually come in every single day. Like I showed you, these are the signals from today. You can see the date right here. Last time we had signals were on the 23rd because the 24th and 25th was Saturday and Sunday. Trading only happens 5 days a week. So Monday to Friday, you have signals every single day. If you don't refer anybody at the legacy level, do you still cap at $900? Yes, you are still capped at $900 if you're a customer. Any customer, regardless of your level, you're capped at $900. If my account is currently inactive in DST, if I reactivate at Pro, which timestamp will I have in options? You will actually have the timestamp of your original date of signing. So if you are somebody who joined way back and then you let your account expire, this would be a good time to reactivate because your original timestamp will be accredited to you. When I watched the last video, you mentioned a $200 cash addition to your account if you started with. Yes, that is true, Brian. There is also a cashback on top of the risk-free trades, and there's one that I mentioned last time. I just don't like talking about it too much because even though it will be present in your back offices, I don't want people to think that we are doing like an incentivized thing of some sort. It's you trade if it's good, and that's it. I just wanted to say thank you to you, especially you, Roger. I just sold something while on the webinar, and because of my cashback, I'm shipping my product entirely from the cashback earned. This is from Shannon Chai. That is awesome.
Are you reading a question or are you thanking me personally?
I was not thanking you. This was the person who was thanking you. I was just reading it. I know better than to thank you with your ungrateful talk back to me.
You knew better than asking that.
Kevin, can you splice that so it sounds like he's thanking me? Make that my ringtone.
I'll edit it to where he's like, yes, Roger, great, wonderful, best.
Yes.
I just had such a cruel idea. So to build up on everything that I do at airports, I should go to an airport and get a ringtone that sounds like somebody shooting a shotgun.
Would you stop?
But anyway, I just
stop this madness.
If we enter a 399, will there be a distinction between signals from inheritance level? Yes, there is a difference in signals. I think I was very clear about there being a difference in signals. At the 149, at the the inheritance level, you get technical signals which are subject to market conditions in general, but they're auto trades in that we have the systems and indicators and software that a lot of time was put into building. And using that, we are able to forward these trades to you. Now, you will notice three very critical things over here. None of these trades are going to be very short-term trades because I don't think it's possible for me to issue a trade that's going to be expiring in 2 minutes for you to see it, receive it on your smartphone app, or to check the site on a whim, and then go and take that trade. So I don't think that's very wise. So these signals are for longer term trades. In the enterprise level, you do get better signals. Like I said, you get signals that are end of day trades many times, which do have a stronger track record of performing well. The other good thing that you get with these enterprise signals, though, is that you also will be getting some indicators and training for short-term trades. So if you wanted to go in and do 5-minute and less trades, you will receive the training in there. And I'll actually go over a very simple trend reversal system that was actually the first I ever came up with. That was the first system that Kevin and I ever tested. And we took an account of Kevin's that was a 250. What did you start with, Kevin? What was the account that you started with, and then you end up at 4,000 or something? He's unmuting himself.
That past 6,000 was a $200 account.
Yep. So
he started with a $200 account.
200. Yep, that's it. So we started really at the lowest level that it was allowed at the broker. And that was without any risk-free trades, right?
Yes, I now have more accounts because I want, even though I've had an account, I signed up another account. I wanted those risk-free trades with with options domination accounts. So I'm pretty excited with that, with the risk-free, and then taking an account from $500 and seeing how big we could take it and turn that into a case study, and doing that with a $1,000 account and doing the exact same thing. I mean, it's guys, it's really hard to say how great the actual product is. I can't say it enough. It's amazing. And we have all these, signaling platforms and companies out there. They're like, we're going to give you 8,000 signals in a day. Well, let's all be realistic about this. You're not going to win on 8,000 signals a day. They're all junk. They're garbage. They go off of daily moving averages and crap. But the signals that we have here that come out are really, really good. It was very hard for me to trust them when I first started testing them out for Hitesh, right? So I'm testing them, and I'm used to looking at a chart. And I would take the signal and I would cringe, oh, what's going to happen here? But when they started winning consistently, then now I don't even want to look at a chart right now. I don't even want to see a chart all about. I got a signal that tells me what to do. So it's refreshing. And I think a lot of people in our industry are going to find that refreshing as well. And when I say our industry, I mean people who are out there trading, the millions of people who would never look at a network marketing company will look at options domination and want just a product, and they'll wake up one day and go, holy crap, I got an extra $100 in my options domination account. What is this all about? And they'll move on over to the affiliate side. We're literally one of the biggest industries out there, Forex marketing, the brokering platforms that are out there. We're taking that entire financial industry and we're giving them a doorway into network marketing, into our world, for those of you who are big on recruiting. And when you do that, when you smack two industries together, you just get big things, especially with a product that outperforms everything that's out there on the market today. So that's what you guys have your hands on. You have a great affiliate compensation plan, an amazing affiliate compensation plan. You've seen it. Tri-matrix systems. You've got $1 a month, $3 a month, $7 a month per person. You've got matching bonuses. You've got referral bonuses. You've got all these cool things. Who in the world can design a better compensation plan? Nobody. Check. We got the best comp plan. Now look at what we have for the financial market side of the house. Who can go out there and do all the things and have the signaling platform that we have? Does anybody have that right now? No. They bombard the market with all these, oh, look at, I've got 15 signals that are going to come down in the next 10 seconds when you sign up. I'm going to give you a free 100 signals just for filling out your email. They give this stuff away like water because it's garbage and it doesn't work. Like Hitesh said on a call the day before yesterday, was it? My days are now confused because I can't sleep. I'm so excited about this stuff. And I don't think anyone on this call really sees me too jacked up very often. But I'll tell you, he made a statement that said, look, we're not going to give you 100 signals just to give you 100 signals. We're going to give you you're going to take those 100 signals that another company would normally give you, and we're going to skim out all the crap that's going on there. We're going to give you a signal that actually performs. So if that's one signal that performs versus you taking 99 losses, that's what you get. So you're not going to get an amazing amount of signals, but what comes through is the absolute best of the best. No one can compete with what we have on the product side of the house. You don't have to take 1,000 trades a day to make big money here. And I know we want to downplay it. We're talking about financials, so we want to give, low estimates, and we want to make sure everything's conservative. But at the end of the day, the product level here, I cannot express how excited I am about the product that we have with options. And then we have the best compensation plan that I've ever laid my eyes on, and I've seen quite a few. So that's the boat that we're in. Awesome product that can make money without recruiting. Awesome compensation plan that I plan on leveraging, and I'm excited that I'm not an owner. I mean, most people would love to be an owner of this company. And Jason, I love you, man, but I'm glad I'm an affiliate because I get to build this out as an affiliate. I get to do capture pages, sales funnels, all this stuff, and then share that with the company and just have a great time with it as an affiliate. And I think that that's the best. An affiliate, because you can make a lot of money in this comp plan, as you can see. And the product side of the house, you better believe I'll be trading on every signal that comes to the door. So that's where I stand. I'm pretty jacked up. So.
Well, it's one thing that's truly amazing is when you find out about the industry and how it really works. And honestly, there's not too many people I could trust my life decision financials with other than Hitesh, because I know he is going to make sure he knows something inside out as much as is humanly possible. And when you find out a lot of these companies really only make if you end up losing, which in the long run, that's what some of those do, or money on the volumes of trades that they do. So we've tested with some accounts, and it's pretty amazing because Hitesh use software that goes in and detects like, okay, they made some really dumb trades with our money, but we're still getting, say, a 9% monthly return on that money. And he'll question, why did you make that? Our signals show that was a bad call. Why did you do it? Well, in a nutshell, as long as they keep us happy with getting a high enough return, monthly return, that we stick with them, they will continue to make bad, quote, trades because they get paid on the volume and the number of trades they do. So that's where Hitesh has done so much work in and out. I can't tell you how many countless companies we send chunks of money over to test, to truly find out what type of system they are, to truly find out they will pay us back when we say, hey, we want to return some of that money and so forth. And so if you could ever hook up a watch to Hitesh's REM sleep or see how little sleep he actually does and how much he's relentlessly researching this stuff, you just really couldn't go out there. 99% of people that will go out there and try to do this on their own and try to find a platform that's going to wheel and deal with them. And then you find out, because we definitely found platforms that were basically ripping us off, and they had margins built in there and so forth. But Hitesh with software, which how many people do you know are going to go and really double check on a company to see that, your calls and your puts are really what they are, and that the market didn't really truly go this high or this low. Well, Hitesh does that, and it's truly amazing. And so when we did this, it's that we want to make sure, once again, because this is a tough industry, we want to make sure we're doing everything to give everyone the opportunity. So when we're fighting tooth and nail saying, hey, we want 7 free trades, because you know what? It's still, nothing's 100% in life. So we figure, okay, we're getting you all this cash back. That could, yes, come to the company, come to me. And we're saying, hey, we're going to put that $200 back, because what we want to do is know that you got 7 free trades, and we pray you do great with the trades. And if for some reason you didn't do good with 7 trades and you lost all 7, And once again, that could just be a statistical thing. You just jumped in and you did 7 trades at bad timing, and that's just how it could be. But you at least have that option to walk away, pull up your money, not have lost a dime, and feel good that you tried it. And so that's what, brings us peace, knowing that, hey, we've done everything. We've sought out so many companies, and we're just trying to make this as risk-free for you because we've gone out there and really pulled as many strings as we can and pulled our weight with what we can do to work with these companies. So once again, there's not too many people in this world I would ever trust many things with other than Hitesh, and of course, working now with Kevin and Roger, but just knowing Hitesh for so many years and many, many hours of working side by side with this guy, I really don't think there's a better system out there, and that's why I'm pretty happy to put my name to it, because I got this Indian genius that is working his little butt off for me for minimum wage, right, Hitesh?
Well, actually, it's not minimum wage, but
Okay.
the reason he likes to go on these little fun rants to try and, if you know, aim is to try and fit my name in as many times as he can, because he was mispronouncing my name for about 6 of the 8 years that we knew each other until
No.
you gotta fix it. So now he just goes on these long stories where he can just repeat my name to try and get practice for it. So most of what he was saying is just, you can ignore it. But there was something very fun that I wanted to mention once. This is about the only kind of motivational thing that you're going to get out of me. And it's not really the typical motivational stuff. Okay. It's actually very anti-motivational in some ways. You've heard a lot of people talk about, well, just go through the struggle and blah, blah, blah. And there is a certain level of virtue that societies in general seem to assign to poverty. It's almost like, oh, if you're poor, your heart must be in the right place or something like that. And there are some successful people who are like, well, these other people, whatever. It's anything like that. Here's what I just want to point out very simply to you guys. And this is something that has been one of the biggest driving forces for me now, after having witnessed this in real action, okay? Because up until now, everybody loves reading the theory of economics. Maybe not everybody, okay? I like reading theory of economics and what's going on there. And all these different people have been given Nobel Prizes for, either reinforcing something about economics or understanding something about economics, especially macroeconomics. It's a lot of fun. And so I've had this theory, and everybody has this general understanding of it, that somehow it's a good thing to be successful. Okay, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing to be successful. And I see a lot of rhetoric about, these rich people, they put their money in these accounts and they just invest and they live off of that, and blah, blah, they don't know what it's like to struggle and whatnot. Here's just real statistics that I have right now. Ignore the number of people that we have ever given money to. Roger, Kevin, Jason, and I, we have never decided on an official charity for DS Domination. We never will. There will never be an official charity that we give money to. We have our own individual places where we send money. And I've seen a ton of companies where the new thrust is, look at us, we're a charitable company. We like to give to others. So join us and spend money with us and blah, blah. Okay, that's nonsense. You should only spend money on things that you will receive a legitimate return on, whether it's in a product or a service or whatever, but not because of an emotional appeal like that. But here is what I'm going to tell you. I'm ignoring all the people that we might have physically ever helped, okay? Which just knowing all of our character, I believe is probably we have a better track record than most. But let's ignore all of that. I'm only going to talk about the money. When Jason was saying all the huge chunks of money that we have sent in different places to test out these different platforms and stuff like that, we already have of money in these wealth protection strategies, okay? And that's just happens to be because of some things that I had a relationship with, my dad was involved in, blah, blah, blah. Just let's say that we just kind of lucked out and we got blessed with certain situations. The money that we have in these places would allow us realistically to say that we have something better than life insurance for our family. We do have a legacy. If something happened that would prohibit us from working, or we didn't have internet anymore or whatever, our families could easily live off. Okay. That is the selfish motive, right? It's a selfish motive to want to leave something good for your family. Okay. I consider that a selfish motive. Like every one of us should want that. It's a good thing to want that. But here's the side effect of that. The reason that we receive these interest rates is not because somebody is magically printing more money from that money, and neither is money a living organism that multiplies itself, nor is all of that money, procreating with each other and giving us more money. The reason we receive an interest is that these investments that we have made, the money that we have sitting in these accounts, due to fractional reserve system, is used in the real economy. It actually has a productive value. There is production equivalent to roughly 3,400 families' output that is currently being generated from our investments. That is why we receive interest on that. Okay, that's our payment, if you will, from society as a whole. Whether the society admits it or not, whether the people admit it or not, it's the system itself rewards people who are actually producing that. So that productive value is equivalent to, like I said, 3,400 families. Okay, families. I didn't say people. I said 3,400 families in the places where we have these investments. Now, I want you to think for a minute. There is no MLM in the world that I know that has helped 3,000 more people than it has hurt. Okay, I don't know of one. I actually struggle to even think of a person who physically, by pure acts of charity, could help more than 3,000 people, okay, while being in poverty or while continuing to propagate these ideas that somehow supporting a company because it donates some money is a magically good thing. All I can tell you guys is this. I'm a very much factual guy, okay? And there are things that can get me emotionally riled up, and we have been through the biggest emotional ride that I think any very recently, and still are going through it. But I can tell you very, very straight up, from the actual facts, from the actual studies, from the actual math behind all of the stuff, the best thing you can do for the world is actually being successful and get to the point where you can leave a legacy for your kids. Because while you're doing something selfish and something good by leaving something for your kids, you're actually producing something far more in the society. You're producing economic output through your investments that you will never be able to match, no matter how charitable you become, no matter how many people you give stuff to. Okay, that's the closest you're going to get to a motivational speech out of me. So if you join Options Domination, and if, let's say, you make nothing from the matrix, and if, let's say, the signals are a total failure for you and you end up not making anything from it, even so, if all of that fails, I highly suggest whether you go back and work a real job in the real world, fixing shoes for people, that's fine. Just make sure that you actually follow this pathway where you have money set aside, put that money into investments, a lot of it into safe investments that give you a small interest rate that you can actually use for your family with some guarantee of safety. And then more that is put into actual investments and so on. But don't make the mistake of thinking that you can, you can just keep living paycheck to paycheck and put some money in your 401k and match your pension, and somehow that social net, that the minimum social net that the government provides for you, is what you should be aspiring for. What you should be aspiring for is to leave a legacy, not to have enough in welfare or not to have enough in social nets that you can live off of. So this was very interesting to me. It was very wonderful to me. I always had plans of doing something to help a lot of people or whatever, but I've never been able to match the kind of actual economic help that investments have provided for a lot of people and a lot of families than all of the stuff. Now, on top of that, DS Domination as a whole, because of this system, because of this cost offset model, because of this idea that you can generate an income without recruiting, we've had close to 1,000 people that I believe, from just our statistics that we've seen, that we probably have close to 1,000 people who have been able to quit their jobs. Okay, so that's 1,000 people who have been able to quit their jobs, and their families are now working on that, right? So because I was willing to, instead of focus on necessarily the traditional idea of charity, because I was willing to instead put in work and say, we're going to build this platform, I'm going to work on this platform, and we came together, the four of us, and things fit the way they did. We have 1,000 people roughly that have quit their jobs. So that's 1,000 families being supported right now through this entire model. But those 1,000 people didn't just disappear from the workforce. When they left those jobs were now available to 1,000 other people who are now able to get in there. And this automatically results in 1,000 other people who have actually now supplying and taking care of their families. So all of this idea, all of this system, this whole thing has resulted in clearly about 2,000 people that we can directly tie to their well-being to. And then we have about 4,000 people over here that we can tie this to. And I know the way that we are currently, if we extrapolate our results out over the next 5 years, this number will be close to 30,000 people, the way we are going right now. That is the motivation behind a lot of these things. That should be your motivation behind a lot of these things. That's where you should be going as well. And you know what, let me rephrase that. I don't even think that should necessarily be your motivation. Let this be the side effect of your success. Your motivation really should be to take care of yourself and take care of your family and give them the best life that you can. And this is the natural side effect of it. So this whole idea that you're somehow being hedonistic in some ways by pursuing success and financial freedom, that somehow that's this bad idea and, oh, you're this materialistic person, that is propagated by people who would much rather see you in poverty with them instead of see you actually have an economic impact and hire them in a job. So don't want to get any more philosophical and emotional about it, but that's one of the wonderful side effects. So if you come across an MLM company that tells you should join them because they have so many charitable donations and activities that they do, well, guess what? They're doing those charitable donations by making sure that 99% of the people actually are failing. So just because you caused 10,000 people to fail and took their money and gave it to 500 people doesn't necessarily mean that's a good thing. Okay, and I speak that also as a person who has recently even received a lot of. So it is not lost on me how important that is. But this is what I see as the best way to help the world or whatever. Anyway, that is all there is to it. That is all I had to say. Now, Roger and Kevin and Jason can close off with some actual nice, fun stuff and good things.
I want to add to that real quick. Hitesh, that 1,000 people. It's funny because you look at those numbers, 1,000 people, but that's not. I guarantee you there's even more that we don't know about because that's just what you can track, right? As far as the e-commerce side.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
that's what we can track because we know what sales are going on.
We're actually not talking about affiliate side at all.
Yeah, this is just the e-commerce side. I mean, the affiliate side is packed with people as well. I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, yep. Amazing.
Reginald Stinson, Nancy, Kenya, there's a lot of people in here, Trent Weidman. I hate getting on these lists because then I have to keep going because I don't want to miss anybody. Aaron and Jeff White and Keisha Bass, just all of these wonderful leaders. I'm not counting any of these people in here. Okay, these are not the people that we are talking about when we're saying these people are successful and this is what you should copy. Those people are successful because they're good recruiters and they build good teams. We're not talking about them. And in fact, I think it would be wrong to try and copy them because if you tried, you would fail due to the mathematical nature of affiliate programs. You could only have so many people. Anyways, couple of questions. How soon can members start trading? They can start trading on the 1st of February. 1st of February, we'll make everything live at midnight. That is why you guys have until the 1st of February. And then on basically 2nd of February at 12:01 a.m., you guys will be able to start trading.
That speech was like when Arthur Fonzarelli jumped the cars. It's pretty amazing. It's an old show, Happy Days.
I'm not sure what you just said because I couldn't hear you very well.
He's talking about things that happened 30 years before you were born, but he witnessed.
I don't think it's 30. I don't think the difference is 30 at all.
No, it's Arthur.
No, maybe like 15.
7 people got that in here.
Yeah, but I don't actually.
You can Google it, youngster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a young whippersnapper. Cool. Well, we're 50 minutes into this webinar, so.
I actually do know what Happy Days is. I just realized. In fact, I know what Happy Days is because
You got
I
Google.
couldn't hear what you said in the beginning, so I didn't know what you meant.
You mean Google just realized what Happy Days is?
Right.
Here's why I know that, okay? And this will be the weirdest thing. So when I met my wife,
Blog. He's reading.
all I would wear is this leather coat, okay? And now the funny thing is because I only could afford one leather coat that I brought from India, and so I'm in Iowa. And, people really pack up because of the winter. And, I'm walking around in this leather coat. And my wife, when she met me, she was always like, who do you think you are? The Fawns? You're just going to walk around in this leather coat all the time, not caring about the winter. And that's when I actually looked into it and realized it was. So I am aware of Happy Days.
So you were married before you pulled that Fawns jacket out then?
I actually still just wear a leather coat. I am so used to a leather coat. In fact, I guarantee Jason can attest to this. It's my man purse.
Yeah. He wears it when
I have a wallet and a phone and car keys, and I want me to put this in my coat pocket and just.
We call it a satchel.
Yeah. You got the Indian Fonzarelli making inspirational speeches wearing a man purse. Can we close it up there?
Yeah. Can we wrap this up?
All right, go ahead.
I'm not doing it. I think it's Jason's.
I don't know. I think Rogers. Normally,
it's
Rogers
Jason's turn.
speaks a little more.
I did it last time, so.
Yeah, it's Jason's turn, and Tesh will give him a few minutes.
Yeah. No. I better be quick because I gotta get one little one still to bed. So, no. I just wanted once again thank everyone for being on and just reading the comments and going back and forth and reading Skype. We just been blessed with some